Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to another Market Open. Hi, everybody. How are you guys doing? It is Wednesday, February 14th, the day of love. Happy Valentine's Day to everyone that's out there. I love all of you from the bottom of my heart. The fact that you guys join every morning, you guys, I sound like a broken record, but I cannot explain how much that means to me. Truly, it means the absolute world to wake up and have people want to consume your content, listen to your show, and hopefully get some value out of it. And I've been getting a lot of love in the DMs over the past couple of days. A lot of people have been messaging. Dude, there was this one guy who said him and his wife watch the morning open every day, and they got into Palantir at like $14-15, and they put in a decent amount of money. So really appreciate everyone who showed love on the streams, and thank you all for being here. Happy Valentine's Day. Today's going to be an exciting day. Today's going to be a very interesting day in the market open. If you've been following this channel and if you've been following sort of my journey on this, Robinhood is up 15% in the pre-market. And I'm going to be talking extensively today about what I think is going on with this company, my long-term strategy for where I see the stock going. And I will be finally revealing my entire Robinhood position that I told you guys that I would be revealing in last week after earnings. So today we're going to go through all of that. Obviously it was a good earnings, and put in the chat if you are in Robinhood. I know I say not financial advice, but I know a lot of you guys fucking follow me anyway. So put in the chat if you bought any Robinhood over the past couple of weeks, as it was in the sort of $10, $11 range. We'll talk about that. On top of that, Palantir won 8 new awards this morning. Absolutely incredible stuff. Palantir, very nice, 2% up in the pre-markets. Right now, Palantir is at 24.30, up 1.19%. I have some thoughts about consolidation on price action. Dare I say it, but I think I'm going to say it. I think we're consolidating, guys. I really do think we're consolidating. I know it takes a few weeks for this to play out, and maybe I'm being a little ahead of myself, but if we were going to fall back to 21, 22, outside of a broader market correction, which everything's going to fall at that point, if we were going to fall back independent of the market, which is what usually happens after earnings, right? A la SoFi, we would have done it by now. We have not done it. We are still in this $24 range, which is absolutely incredible. And so today, Palantir won the Dresner Advisory Awards for 2023 Technology Innovation Awards in multiple categories, 8 different categories. We'll talk about that in a little bit. So we have a lot to get through today. And then obviously Bitcoin, 51,000, $1 trillion market cap. Bitcoin could not have picked a better day to get to $1 trillion, because obviously Robinhood trades with Bitcoin. And so it's going to be very interesting to kind of see how this all plays out. Thank you all for joining me. Happy Valentine's Day. Let's get into it. Greg, Nick Piercy, Top Dasher, Joe, June, Public Display, The Foolish Hiker, Sethi Roth, John Stevens, Iceman, JJ Kane, Gerald, Matt, Abhishek, Biscuit Cat, Persian Prince, Public Display, Quick Pump, Kumi, DRK, what's up? Amen, Jurassic, Kaios, Jeremy, She, Somish, Zach, Adam, Brian, Alto, Raul, David, Jurassic World 19, Zach, Ashwin. Thank you all for being here. Let's get into it. All right. So first thing we're going to do is we are going to officially reveal my Robinhood position. So let's start off with that. And then we're going to get into the Palantir news. And I'm also going to talk about my strategy with Robinhood right now and what I'm thinking and how I am playing it. And, hopefully that can give some insight into where I currently think the market is going. And then we'll discuss more about the actual earnings. Franz Baker, thank you for the 200 THB PayPal relief fund. Yeah, we need PayPal to pull a Robinhood eventually. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. We'll see what happens. But all right, so what is my Robinhood position? It is upwards of $45,000. Okay, so that is the position. It was actually closer to 55, but last week I trimmed because I was getting a bit nervous about where the market was going. I'll talk about sort of my risk mitigation strategy that I pulled last week, and if it was, what I think about it right now. But in general, the position is, nearing 50,000. And I also have 5,000 invested for my mom. Now, my mom already doubled her money. I sold half of her calls back in December. So she has, about 5,000 left after she doubled it. And so today I'll be talking about her position as well. All right. So first, let's start off with the Roth IRA. This is the Roth IRA. So in the Roth IRA, as you can see right now, we have 1 share of Palantir. And we have 150 contracts of Robinhood $25 call options expiring January 2025. This is currently up 15%. If we do a simulation of the returns, If the market opens, this should be up closer to 100%. We should be making $7,288 if the market holds up. Now, one thing I want to talk about, and I'll talk a little bit more about it in a second, I don't know if we're going to hold these gains. I think we will, but we could sell off pretty extensively just given the way the market operates. So I'll talk about that in a second, but I'm not positive Robinhood holds their gains. Now, if we were supposed to, give up our gains, I think we would have done it by now because it's been 24 hours since we had the earnings. It's not like SoFi where you had earnings 2 hours after the pre-markets, or the market opened 2 hours after the earnings. But in general, I still don't know. If we can get, so my exit strategy here on these 150 contracts, if we can get Robinhood to 14.5, which would be another 5% from here, we're going to pull in a 10 bagger. Or actually, it has to be lower than that. 1420, around about 1420. If we get to 1420, we're pulling a 10 bagger and I would exit. Now, I don't know exactly what I'm going to do here because I don't know how Robinhood's going to run. Okay. Robinhood might end up running, to 1415 today, or Robinhood right now it's at 1354, might get stuck and maybe sell off to 1280, 1290. I was with Jesse yesterday on the stream. Thank you for everyone who joined that stream. We need to get above 14. If we cannot get above 14, we're basically screwed. Okay. We are going to fall back into that 1270 range, 1280 range. I'll talk about the fundamentals of the company in a second. The fundamentals are phenomenal. So to me, we should be able to get to 14. I think we're going to get price target upgrades. I think the analysts love it. I think everyone realizes Robinhood is a major player. And so there is no reason we shouldn't be able to get to that 14, 15 level even today, but it is likely people take their profits. There's probably going to be some sell side pressure. And if that's the case, maybe we hit it intraday. Maybe we hit it in the end of the day. I don't know. So this is going to be a game time decision when the market opens, and we'll see what happens. But that's basically what I'm looking at right now in terms of these options. Now, I did have 277 contracts. Okay. I had 277 contracts. So this return you're seeing, this simulated return as the market opens of $7,000, that would have been 14,000. That would have been 14,000. And this is a lesson that I learned. Ultimately, my conviction on Robinhood was sky high, and I think I had catched the bottom. The average on these options, guys, is 52 cents. I was buying them when they were close to 45 cents. So like I ended up getting a 52 cent average. It's 53. But I had 277 of these. On Friday, I decided after seeing a firm go to shit, you know what? It's better to be safe than sorry. Even though I really did not want to sell them because I had my conviction. I kind of knew that Robinhood was going to do a blowout quarter. But the one thing I was afraid about is that if they're not gap profitable, we're going to be screwed. They ended up being gap profitable. And so if I had just kept my 277 call options, I YOLO'd my entire Roth into this strategy, I would be up double right now at 15 grand. But right now it's up about 7 grand. So we'll see what happens. Maybe we get to 10 grand if Robinhood goes to 14. Maybe we fall back down to like only up 2-3 grand if Robinhood goes back to 1270. I don't know. But that is the risk mitigation I did. Ultimately, I think it was the right decision because if Robinhood shit the bed, in hindsight, it looks like that was a horrible decision selling 150 contracts. But I could, if Robinhood tanked, it would have been a really tough thing. But in my head, in my heart, I knew they weren't going to tank. In my head, I was like, what if they do? And so my head ended up beating my heart, which in investing, quite frankly, is what saves you a lot of times. So that is the Roth position. Okay. That is the Roth position. Now, what is the real position? This is the real position. Okay. This is the one where in December, what I'm about to show you, there was a day in December where I talked to my boy, Sebastian, investment banker in LA. He's good with the numbers. We spent 3 hours from 2 a.m. to 5 a.m. Just randomly, I published a tweet. He was like, yo, what do you think about Robinhood? I was like, yo, call me. And then for 3 hours, we went through the numbers. We did all the due diligence. And we both decided, okay, tomorrow morning, we're going to buy a lot of Robinhood. And so this position is now 34,000. At one point, it was 35,000. I sold 10 of them on Friday. Again, a little bit of risk mitigation. And this position is 440 contracts, as you can see right here, at an average price of 78 cents. This was 450 on Friday. I sold 10 of these for a 30% gain. Again, probably not the best sell, but I was doing a little bit of risk mitigation. I was getting really nervous about fintech, and so I got rid of 10 of them. I was going to get rid of 50 of them, so thankfully I didn't get rid of 50 of them. I only got rid of 10. So it's 440 contracts, 78 cents. This 78 cents, I tried to get them even when Robinhood collapsed from like 1350 to almost, 1020, I tried to buy more. They would never fill. They expire in 2026. And so I think for the expiration date on these, the price I have is pretty amazing at 78 cents. And I tried to get more, but they never got filled. So to me, every time Robinhood dropped, there were enough buyers in the 2026 range for these options that didn't let it go, as low as I wanted it to get, because I wanted it to, I wanted to reduce the average even lower and pick up more contracts, but it didn't happen. Now, this position is going to be up $18,000. That's what Robinhood is simulating in the market. Okay. As soon as the market opens, this will be up $18,000 at a $13.60 price. I have seen this position, guys, go up $52,000. Now, 52,000 might have been a little bug for a couple of, it was like 30 seconds or whatever, but the demand on these contracts has been high. And I don't even know if this is correct at 18,000, because for the far majority of December, this contract was trading as if Robinhood was about 1450. For the far majority of December, I was up around 25,000. For a good 2 weeks, I think I was up 32,000. So I don't know exactly if it's going to trade the way Robinhood simulator says it will. Maybe it does, but maybe the demand is higher. Obviously, if the price goes up, then we'll see that happen. But this position should be up close to 60%. What is my exit strategy on this? It's pretty defined, my exit strategy here. I want to take out my initial. So I put in 35,000. I took out 1,000 on Friday. So I need to take out the other 34. We're just going to call it an even 30. We're just going to get rid of an even 30. So my goal is to let this be house money. If this position gets to $20 by January 2026 at the current price that it is at, this is why this position is kind of exciting, right? Let's zoom out a little bit. If we get to $20 by January 2026, this position is worth $185,000 off of a $35,000 investment, which is, what is that, a 6x or something like that? That's 185 divided by 35. That's a 5.28x. So about a 5x, essentially. That is why this was really exciting to me. Okay. That's why this was really, really exciting to me. This is why I loaded up very heavily, because I was like, well, if I hold it until, January 20, even if I hold it until, summer of 2025, this position can be worth a lot of money. So today the goal is to get rid of 30,000 so that if I sell off about 200 of these contracts, we'll have about 240 left. And those 240 contracts, if they end up going to, Robinhood ends up being $20 or more by January 2026, those 240 contracts would still net me about $120,000 in profit. So instead of making 160 or 180, it would be 120 if Robinhood gets to $20 by January 2026. And I would be playing with house money. It would basically be a free 120 grand because I'm taking my initial 30 grand out. So today, the goal, if it's worth more than that, it's still going to be maxed at 185, Rizzo, because this is a spread. So let me explain the strategy. I bought the $15 call. I sold the $20 call. So it's not a naked call option. The $25 call on the Roth IRA, that's a naked call. Okay. So that one can go to the moon. I mean, let me just show you the simulation on that. That one, let's say Robinhood today does something crazy. Let's say Robinhood goes to like $17 today. That thing's going to be worth $24,000 today. So there's no limit to that, right? Like you can play with this. You can just make it higher and higher and higher, and it keeps going higher. Now, my guess is that if we're lucky, Robinhood's going to get closer to that $14 range, maybe 14.5, which means today we would make 11 grand, because the goal is to sell out of these today. I just don't want to be too early on the sell, but I definitely don't want to be too late and have this thing sell off to 1280. So we're going to really see what happens in 30 minutes. But that is the goal on this. And on the spread that I have, the main position, that's capped at around 180,000 profit, but I wouldn't complain with 180,000. So the goal is sell the Roth IRA calls, hopefully at a decent profit, and maybe we're going to sell early if Robinhood keeps running, but if we can get a sweet spot, that'll be great. And then on the initial position, take out the actual 30K I put in. Now I have $30,000. I increased my cash position by about 20%. I already have about 14% in cash. So that cash position goes higher. And then when the dip comes, we're going to have a good chunk of cash to start unloading, to load up on the dip on a variety of other stocks I'm interested in. But we're going to be playing with house money. So now, even if Robinhood goes to zero over the next 2 years, I will not lose a single penny. That is the goal of what we're trying to do on this option. And so we'll see. We'll end up, seeing what happens. But that's a strategy. Roth IRA calls 150. Main position 440 spreads. Goal is to get rid of the Roth position at a decent price, take some profits there, and then on the main spreads, we're going to hopefully reduce that by half. The other thing I want to show you guys real quick is my mom's position, because my mom also has a position that I invested for her, honestly, back in the summer. And so this is what I did for her. So her position in the summer, she already doubled this. So her position is 52 spreads at an average cost of 55 cents, expires January 2025. She has the same position as me, but for a 2025 expiration, not a 2026. And for her, If Robinhood can get for her, she's at, about 5,000 in gains right now. If Robinhood can get to about 14.5, or let's just call it 14, her position is going to be worth, what is that, $123 times 52 contracts. So 123 times 52, about 6,300. And so I'm going to sell off her position today as well, if we can get there. And so that's what we're doing. That is the goal for today. And we'll end up seeing what happens. So that is the Robinhood thing. I will go back to Robinhood and the earnings. I want to get through the Palantir news real quick because that was news we just got 30 minutes ago. But that is the Robinhood position, if anyone was curious. And as soon as the market opens, we're going to keep an eye and see what the strategy is. And that's the exit strategy as well. Get the initial out, get rid of the Roth stuff, and just see how it plays. If Robinhood keeps running, maybe we'll be a little bit more patient. And then the rest of it, we'll let it ride. And then, maybe we might just buy the stock. Maybe we'll take that money. We'll do some cash secured puts. I wouldn't mind owning Robinhood stock, quite frankly. So maybe we can get some juicy premiums, and then we'll just keep going from there on Robinhood. Okay, cool. We'll talk more about Robinhood in a second. Palantir. We just got a new press release on Palantir. This is a big deal, guys. Very interesting press release we got this morning. We are continuing to win more awards in the world of Palantir. So this is what we got this morning. And again, Palantir is consolidating in this $24 range. I don't want to be eager to say it, but it seems like we are developing a bit of a floor. You had your mom's money and options. Yeah, I did. I mean, look, she gave me $5,000. She said, go play with it. And I doubled it. And today we might end up giving her a $6,000 profit on top of that doubling. So remember, we bought these options back when Robinhood was $8-9. So it was, I know people think it's risky, but like, I get it. Options are risky, but I mean, you guys have seen the DD we've been doing on Robinhood for the past 3 months. Like, at some level, we kind of knew this was going to happen, right? In terms of the results they posted up. I was just afraid the market's going to be irrational and sell it off. And maybe they do as soon as the market opens. But my mom can't lose now, right? I mean, that money is house money. So at this point, it's like, I mean, Robinhood could go to zero and she's not going to lose a dime. But that's because we bought early. And that's the key with like doing hopefully decent research and then getting in before everyone else figures out. Okay, so here's the announcement. Palantir has been awarded a Dresner Advisory Services 2023 Technology Innovation Award in multiple categories. Here are the categories, okay? AI, data science and machine learning, cloud business intelligence, supply chain planning and analytics, data engineering, self-service business intelligence, model ops, analytical platforms, and embedded BI or business intelligence. This is absolutely incredible. If you know what Dresner is, they are one of the premier firms that figures out which companies deserve certain levels of accolades based upon the vendors that they end up ranking. So they awarded winners among top-ranked vendors from 16 thematic market studies in the Wisdom of Choice series. Wisdom of Crowds is an annual objective source of in-depth research and reporting on key industry and technology topics, including user trends, perceptions, intentions, and other drivers. AKA, they interview all of the clients that are using Cloudflare, Snowflake, Datadog, Palantir, Microsoft's Copilot, all these SaaS plays, and they say, hey, which ones are the best? And based on their rankings, Palantir was number 1 in 8 different categories. This is the stuff that high-level CTOs, C-suites at the biggest companies in the world are looking at. These are the reports. I mean, Dresner sells these research studies for thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars because they are the firm. It's kind of like Nielsen ratings on TV, right? Like if you do, like the Super Bowl got 123 million people watching it. And when Nielsen says that it's legit, that's how you know, that's how advertisers know, okay, if Nielsen says this is the amount of reach, we're going to be able to spend and, we can get a good ROI. So Nielsen is very important for advertisers. Dresner is very important for C-suites, CTOs, that are trying to figure out which software should they procure. Howard Dresner, the founder and chief research officer at the services, said, our comprehensive series of thematic market studies provides an unparalleled analysis of user behaviors and dynamics, meaning they're actually interviewing the people using the software. We also recognize those suppliers who offer the most comprehensive solutions in the technical areas. We congratulate Palantir on their top-rated performance in 8 of our thematic studies in 2023. In my opinion, if you are investing in Palantir, you are investing in one of the most innovative technology companies on the planet. It is not easy to win 8 different awards. Palantir, $24.27, that exists in the broader market, especially when there's so many competitors that are out there trying to, also get market share, which is why it's very, very exciting to see Robinhood end up doing what it is doing and, it's performed the way it's performing. and get some of this momentum. Robinhood, Palantir. Palantir, $24.27, up 1%. It was down 4%. So this is what I'm thinking right now in terms of price consolidation, and then we'll talk about Cleanspark, because Cleanspark is having a hell of a day as well. So I believe that $24 seems to be the consolidation range, and or it could be the consolidation range for one major reason. CPI was not enough to tank the stock. It tried yesterday taking it down 5%, but it just wasn't enough to really get it to come down lower. So this is what I posted on Twitter. I'll put my Twitter in the chat. You can make sure you follow me there. Here we go. The SPY was down 2% yesterday. It sent the company below $24. Inflation was at 3.1 versus 2.9 expected. Even if the consolidation is between $20 to $24, imagine if we never see below $20 again. Like, imagine if $20 is just like a long lost mystery for Palantir because of their consolidation. The next few earnings then will allow us to make the leg up into 25 and 30, but we have to maintain this range. Nvidia continues to inch higher in the pre-market. S&P now is up 1%, which means the market basically said, F your inflation, F your CPI. We don't believe you. We are buying the stocks. And as a result of that, the entire market is continuing to pull forward, even if inflation, may be not reaccelerating, but it's definitely not going down as much as the market expected. So let's see how the next few weeks goes. But so far, holding 23-24 range is exceptional. Now, in terms of DCAing, I would not say, so this is the question, Lewis, I was just about to answer this question. Is 24 a buy? Look, here's my thoughts on this. I think that 24 is still a risky buy, because expecting Palantir goes to 30 and then doubles anytime soon when we were at 16 is asking a lot. That would be a market cap of 60 billion. Things I think would be getting a bit frothy if Palantir gets to $30. So I do not necessarily think that is happening on a fundamental basis. However, the markets are rational, and SMCI is at freaking $830 right now in the pre-market, $815. If SMCI and Nvidia keep going well, there's an argument for Palantir going to 30. Now, so what is my objective take? You like cutting the BS. What is your take? My take is, if you buy at 24, you really have to be okay with seeing that sucker go back down to 19, because if Nvidia collapses, this whole market's collapsing, and we will know on February 21st. So if you're buying Palantir, my objective take is you've got to be ready to have that sucker for the next 10 years. This is not, I'm going to flip it at 30. If you do that, you can be severely disappointed, or you can be very happy. But, it's just not easy to be able to say, I'm going to buy something that's up 50%, assuming it goes up another 50%, simply because the hype is real. Like, yeah, the hype is real, and the Nvidia hype is real. But if any of that collapses, which it's a green day, it's euphoric, but you have to remember the red days, then you're going to be bag holding that stock. And it's okay if you want a DCA and you have it for the next 10 years, $24 when the stock's 250, maybe. Doesn't fucking matter if you got it at 15, 20, 24, 25, 30. It really doesn't matter in 10 years. But if that's not the mindset, if the mindset is, I got to flip this right now, which a lot of retail traders are going to do, either they're going to make money or they're going to lose money. So you have to be very, very careful right now in terms of FOMOing, because I know it's like, oh, it's staying at 24. We should keep buying. But you should be nervous. I mean, you should be confidently nervous that it will fall back down, because these gains are insane, but also confident that if it doesn't fall back down, I at least get to keep DCAing, or at least hold on to the momentum. So that's what I'm thinking when it comes to Palantir price action. If you're long, I think this comment kind of sums it up. It doesn't matter. If you're long, it won't matter. But please do not buy Palantir at 24 thinking, oh, it's going to go to 30 because the hype is like going crazy. Because that is a recipe to be severely disappointed if we get a correction, which more likely than not, we're going to see some correction. Yesterday was the start of it, but today it's like, you know what? Maybe CPI doesn't matter. Maybe inflation doesn't matter. I don't know how to exactly assume when it's coming. No one does. If anyone did know, right, they would be making a lot of money. But that's the mentality you need to have when it comes to Palantir. Will I be buying at 24? Yeah, I have $2,000 in the public fund. You guys have been telling me to wait to buy. I wanted to buy on Monday, but you guys are saying waiting, and I think that makes sense. We probably should wait. 24 is a very high price for Palantir, especially, after it's up 50%. But maybe it doesn't matter if we're going to keep DCAing, right? So that is my mentality when it comes to Palantir, and that's what I need to think about. Crossroads says, what about buying at 24 thinking it'll be $100 this summer? Yeah, look, if Palantir gets to $100 this year, I think a lot of people on Twitter were correct when they were talking about this on one of Crossroads threads. You should probably liquidate your entire position if that thing's at $100 by June. Like that's a $200 billion market cap doing $2 billion in revenue. That makes no sense. And we can be objective about that. So I think some of these price targets are a bit insane on Palantir. And like, yes, the hype is real, but we've got to be honest right now. Like, it does not deserve, even a $30, $40 price target at this stage. Now, maybe they're sandbagging and then they keep growing and then they grows into that. But I wouldn't buy a 24 for a quick flip. I would buy a 24 with the mentality that it's going to go to 22. Then I'm going to buy a 22. It's going to go to 21. I'm going to buy a 21. And if it goes to 30, then I just get to sit back and enjoy it. But if not, then I will buy the dip. And so that's on my mentality here. Now, if Nancy Pelosi buys, sell your house, sell your wife, sell your kids, sell your intestines, do whatever you need to do and buy Palantir if Nancy Pelosi buys. But until she officially buys, then we got to hold on to being a little careful. Bitcoin is at 51,733. Robinhood is up 14% in the pre-markets, $13.49. It's been a hell of a couple of weeks. When we're seeing this. All right, before we talk about Bitcoin, let's talk about Lyft real quick. I want to show you guys what happened with Lyft. This was insanity. If anyone was part of the market close yesterday and you saw what was going on with Lyft, we had about 18 minutes until the market opens. Lyft went up 60%. Okay. Now I saw this and I was watching Palantir yesterday and Palantir was up a nice 10%. And I was like, oh, that's great. Robinhood was up 10%. And I was like, oh, that's awesome. And then on the peripheral vision of my Webull screen, I'm seeing Lyft out of the corner of my eye. It's up 21% right now. It was up 60%. And I'm like, look, I know Lyft. I don't really study them as a business. I understand the brand. I'm pretty sure a lot of people know Lyft. If you know Uber, you know Lyft. Uber is gap profitable and in the S&P 500. Lyft was down almost 70% at one point. There is no way Lyft deserves to be up 60%, right? And I asked Jesse, who was on the stream, and Jesse couldn't believe it. He was like, well, maybe it was so beaten up, it just had nowhere to go but up. This is kind of what happened to Snapchat at $8, and then they reported earnings, and then they had nowhere to go but down. Apparently what ended up happening with Lyft, and this is why someone might be under some scrutiny today. It was so funny, but it was insane, dude. Like it's one of those things you can't believe. Their IR investor relation team put out the Q4 earnings and they had their EBITDA margin expansion to 500 basis points in the beginning for about 10 minutes. That's when Lyft went up, 60%. They corrected it about 20 minutes later to 50 basis points. So that's a 10x reduction in terms of EBITDA margin, which is a big deal because if you're expanding your EBITDA margin like that, that means something in the business has insane operating leverage and you're like having this pricing power or something, like you did something. I looked at their initial numbers. They grew like 5% year over year. I was like, how is a company growing 5% year over year up 60%? Robinhood grew 37% year over year. Like I know they're different businesses, but that just doesn't make sense. Like what is going on? And apparently that's what happened. They reported the wrong numbers. Now, to me, this doesn't make sense. These reports go through months of due diligence. Like there are people locked in a room making sure that they don't mess up a single syllable on these reports, right? A single punctuation point. If they put an exclamation versus a period, right, that can signal to the market, oh, they're very excited for some reason, right? Like this is why you see these reports are very cut and dry. You're supposed to give the numbers and not imply anything kind of weird. So I don't understand on how EBITDA margin expansion, which is a very big thing for Lyft. Why? Because Lyft pays 80% to their drivers. I think they keep 20%. So the more they can expand that margin, and that's not their EBITDA margin, but that's kind of like their top line margin, the better the business is doing in terms of profitability, the more that goes down into the bottom line. And I don't even know if Lyft is profitable yet. So it's like it was a really big deal for them to expand that margin, and that was false. The fact that they got that number wrong by a factor of 10x, not 60, not 70, 500. Yeah, there were people that bought that dip. I mean, that rise, right? So people bought it up to whatever it was, $17, $20, and they are now bag holding Lyft if they bought after hours as it went up 60% because they thought this thing was going to go up 80%. If you do a 10x increasement, if you increase your EBITDA margins by 10x, this thing's going higher. So people at plus 60% bought it, and then obviously that didn't end up working out, given it was a mistake. So that was absolutely insane to see yesterday. Someone says it's an intern error. Maybe it was an intern error, but I don't know how you let an intern manage your IR. Like that's not the job for an intern. So we'll see what happens with Lyft. We'll see if there's any lawsuits on that. Maybe the SEC will ignore it, but that was pretty insane to see that happen. And Lyft right now is still up 20%, so still decent earnings, but it was up 60%. Okay, let's talk about Cleanspark. Cleanspark right now in the pre-markets is up 14%. It's at $18.18. At one point, it was $18.40 in the pre-market. This stock is up 112%, not in a month, not in a year, in 7 days. Cleanspark is just defying expectations. And one of the reasons for that is because obviously Bitcoin, 51,713. Why is Bitcoin up at 51,713? Because it seems like the inflows into these ETFs, everyone said those inflows are going to be insane. The day the ETFs were released, the hype died down because it seems like those ETFs really didn't have an impact, right? But they ended up having an impact. It just took a little time for them to have their impact. So this is BlackRock's ETF yesterday. They pummeled in 500 million yesterday, like 24 hours ago, $500 million. Bitcoin market cap now 1 trillion. Their assets under management is now 5.2 billion on that ETF alone, which puts it in the top 7% of all ETFs by size. All ETFs by size. In the past 23 trading days, you've got BlackRock's IBIT. Larry Fink knew what the hell he was doing with these ETFs. He wasn't messing around. And although it took some time for this, thing to end up playing out, which really took a couple weeks, and you got a juicy dip at 38,000 if you took advantage of that, which means Cleanspark went to $6, Robinhood went to $10. My taking advantage of the Bitcoin dip was really just loading up on more Robinhood because, again, that's my sort of proxy play here. And now, now these ETFs are printing in terms of the inflows. So those inflows are what's surging Bitcoin higher and higher and higher. Patboy says in the chat, the halving is coming for all Bitcoin, and this is a bullish event. That is correct. Bitcoin's rate of inflation will go from 1.8% to 0.9%, which means it's going to inflate under 1% in terms of supply in about 60 days in April. When that happens, now you've got even more demand from these ETFs chasing less supply, which means you don't have to believe in Bitcoin, but you do have to believe in the fundamental aspects of supply and demand. That should be able to send this bad boy higher. And as a result of that, Bitcoin continues to surge, 51,847. If you look at a chart after every single halving event, there is always a really big candle to the upside over the next few months, and then it ends up selling off. It seems like if that cycle is no different from the previous halving events, that might end up happening as well. Robinhood, $13.41 in the pre-market. I do not know if Robinhood is going to hold its gains. I want to say yes. I'm going to be a little patient in terms of selling if I do, sell anything today, because I don't want this to be a scenario where it is a short-term dip in the first 2 minutes and then, volume picks up because everyone realizes that this is a company that's worth a lot more than $10 billion. And so, look, if we don't end up doing a lot of selling today, I'm actually okay with that because the business is good. The fundamentals of this company are good. Now, the goal is to at least get rid of the Roth position, and we'll see what ends up happening there. But I mean, the 2026 position, I want to get rid of my initial, but even if I don't, it's still 2026, right? We have a lot of time on that bad boy. And if Bitcoin ends up going to all-time highs, Robinhood's not going to be stuck at $13.40. I mean, Bitcoin could not have picked a better day to hit 51,000 after Robinhood earnings. So to me, I'm not too worried about the 2026 position. The Roth IRA position, I do want to get rid of today. And, maybe we have a dip and we just buy back in later. But that is the idea for what I'm seeing right now on Robinhood. Alex says, Amit, it will 100% hold. I hope it does. It's just, I don't want to be super confident here, just given the market is the market. But look, it's been 24 hours. If it's still up 14%, obviously the street is realizing that this is a big deal. This was not a small earnings. For those that are just joining, I revealed my entire Robinhood position. We have 35,000 in calls for spreads in $15, $20 spreads expiring January 2026. And we have about 7,500 in January 2025 calls for $25 strikes. So once the market opens, we'll show you both the positions and see what ends up happening there. So that's what we got on Robinhood. Let me know if you're in Cleanspark. I asked people on Twitter. Apparently, a lot of people are on Twitter. Cleanspark average is 843. This bad boy was 650. So if you loaded the dip on Cleanspark, which in hindsight, it made sense to probably buy Cleanspark, then I just didn't double down because I was like, you know what? If Bitcoin keeps stalling, then this sucker's not going anywhere. And so I just let it ride. Cleanspark position right now, I'm looking at in the simulated markets, it's going to be up. It's going to be up. Basically, let me do the math real quick on this. It's going to be up 1.3 minus this divided by. It will be up 31%. Okay, so that'll be up 31%. And so we'll see how that plays out from there. But if Cleanspark goes to $20, I make $20,000 by the end of the year. Right now it's at, what is it? It's at 18. So I think there's going to be a lot of people that want to take profits on Cleanspark, quite frankly, because they're going to think it's they're going to think it's like a good run. They should take their money. The problem is the people taking profits while Bitcoin's mooning almost to 52 grand. It was at 51,847. Cleanspark's not stopping. if Bitcoin keeps going up. And so the question is, do you believe Bitcoin's going to keep going up in the near term? Because then it's a pretty bad sell. Or do you think Bitcoin's going to take a bit of a dip and it's going to relax, which is, it's possible Bitcoin could just chill out, go back to 46K or whatever. And then Cleanspark's going to go back down to 12 or 11 bucks. So this is going to be a battle between who has more conviction on Cleanspark, on Bitcoin going higher, because that is the reason you're not buying Cleanspark today for the fundamentals. This rally we're seeing in the pre-markets is simply because of Bitcoin. Today's going to be a battle between who thinks Bitcoin is selling off, who thinks Bitcoin's going higher. There was a big wall at 49,000 and the buyers crushed that wall, the buyers being Larry Fink. And so now the question is, how much more inflows are going to be there in order for Bitcoin to continue going higher and see Cleanspark potentially go higher as well. 2 months before halving, this is the top, said nobody ever. Look, I agree. 2 months before halving it, I'm not selling my Cleanspark. I don't care if this thing goes back to 11 bucks. I'm letting this thing ride. This is going to be an end of the year sell for me. If it ends up happening, I'm letting it ride. Whatever happens, happens. And so I'm just along the ride now, and we'll see where it goes. But we could potentially see it go lower if Bitcoin sells off. It could go a little bit higher if Bitcoin continues to maintain its momentum, or if people want to get back in to Bitcoin as well. DraftKings, they had earnings. They have earnings on what is it? They have earnings on Thursday, right? Yeah, DraftKings is up 0.96%. I got to go through the numbers. Honestly, I don't have a perspective on them. I know they went up last year a shit ton. Let me check their thing. They went up year to date, I think 100%, if I'm not wrong. Last year, they're up 200% in the past year, 171%. So last year they did really well. I don't have a perspective on this company. I know that online sports gambling is huge. I know that people love the sports gambling market. I know that it's growing. It's getting more legal in different places. So I like DraftKings. I like the concept of DraftKings. I have no idea about the fundamentals of the business. So I'll go through that tonight before the market close, and we'll take a look at their numbers before we get into earnings. I think we have Coinbase earnings today. We had Shopify yesterday. Coinbase earnings. Let me check real quick what's out today. Today's what, Wednesday? No, Coinbase is on Thursday. So Coinbase, Roku, DraftKings, Trade Desks, and DoorDash, and Opendoor. That's a big day tomorrow. Today we have HubSpot, Upwork, and Twilio. Twilio got a new CEO. They kind of ousted the other CEO who was a founder. Upwork, we'll see what happens with Upwork. I've used the product before, not that interested in the company. And then HubSpot is actually a very interesting company to me. And so we'll take a look at them on Thursday as well. And we'll keep going and we'll see what ends up happening. Let's take a look at some of the macro news we have. So yesterday we got a bad CPI report. Like, it was not a good CPI report, no matter how you slice it. It was, just kind of an ugly CPI, and the market tanked. And when I mean tank, S&P down by 2% is definitely not the best, especially as it surges. Today, the market's saying we kind of don't care. So if you look at the S&P right now, it's up 0.47%, 496. It was at 491 yesterday. And it was at 503. 2 days ago. Robinhood now up 15% in the pre-market, 1360. Airbnb is down 3.34%. Their earnings were pretty good, and they announced like a $6 billion buyback. They have $16 billion cash. I don't know why they're down 4%, but they're down 4% for some reason. We'll get into their numbers in a bit, but they are down. QQQ as well, speaking of the macro, is doing well, 431. So you got the S&P and QQQ. I don't even want to look at SMH. That one's probably at 200? Yeah, that one's at 201. That's the semis ETF. These guys are not slowing down. NVIDIA, let's check on them. I forgot to look at them. NVIDIA, look at that. NVIDIA's up 2% in the pre-markets. NVIDIA's at 731 in the pre-market. They hit a high of 745 yesterday. These guys don't want to slow down. So it's kind of what I think is happening in the broader markets in regards to inflation going up against equities, is that the market said yesterday, okay, we think inflation is very sticky. It went from 3.3 to 3.1, which is great, but it didn't go to 2.9, which is what every bank expected. So if inflation is sticky, okay, we're gonna take some profits. We're gonna sell some of these stocks. We're gonna hold on to some cash. Today, 24 hours after really going through CPI, inflation, etc., the market's like, you know what? We don't care anymore. We think most of that inflation was shelter. We know shelter is falling off a cliff. We know gas prices are eventually coming. Gas prices are already down. We know the fuel and oil index was down, I think 0.6% month over month. We know that inflation's coming down. So why are we scared to buy? I think that's the mentality of the market right now. Why are we scared to buy if we know the number is eventually going to point in our direction, and J-Powell, whether it's in July or whether it's in May or whether it's even in September, is going to cut? And if the market's doing so well right now, not just the market, but the broader economy, if you just look at unemployment data, then we don't need to cut, but the consumer's strong, so we don't really need a cut in order to buy equities. Because if the consumer's strong, they're going to keep spending on products and services and goods. And so I think the market is really battling right now with this idea that, look, like this is an all-time high, and it probably shouldn't be at an all-time high this quick. But what is the reason to sell? It's kind of what Tom Lee was talking about yesterday. Like, it's not a bubble, given we know that there is a lot of AI demand. Now, maybe there is a bubble if NVIDIA comes out and says, hey, our demand is absolute shit. But if Jensen Huang, the way he was speaking at the UAE the other day, has the same level of confidence and they put up the numbers, this is not a bubble. This is real demand. Maybe valuations are getting stretched and we might see a pullback, but there's definitely not some, catastrophic bubble that's going to collapse S&P to 400, right? Like, that could happen, but so far the market's saying that's not going to happen. And if that's not going to happen, I mean, there's $6 trillion on the sidelines. That money's not going to like, being on the sidelines. When you see a Robinhood go up 15%, like, why is your money in a money market fund when you could have invested in a Robinhood that I didn't even talk about their earnings. We'll talk about them after the market open, but these guys added $4 billion in deposits in January alone. They added $4.6 billion in Q4. They did 80% of Q4's deposits in January, and they did it profitably. And they're guiding for profitability. It's very similar to Palantir in terms of, look, interest rates kind of effed us with Palantir. They weren't able to do what they were doing, in a high interest environment. So they pivoted and they said, we're just going to go for profitability. We're going to find other ways to grow and we're going to keep it moving. Robinhood said, hey, high interest rates, we're going to use this as a leverage to acquire a ton of customers. We're going to totally pivot the business, not just from options and trading, but in a variety of other sources, including media, gold subscription, cash sweep, etc. And we're going to do it profitably. I don't know how they inched out $30 million of profits, but they did, even though they're paying people hundreds of thousands of dollars to come to their platform because they're going to end up making it on the back end. At least that's their sort of core thesis. And as a result of that, if these guys are going to do this profitably, this is not a company that's, going to compound at 5%. This is a company that is growing at 37% year over year. Robinhood right now up, Cleanspark up 13.6% and Palantir up 1.16%. Robinhood up 16.13%. And so as a result of that, those people in the money markets might be a little bit afraid to just keep their money on the money markets because you got companies that are doing well. And by the way, if Bitcoin keeps holding up, Robinhood's not slowing down. Customers want a return on their money. They're going to Robinhood. They're not staying at Schwab and Fidelity. Schwab and Fidelity have $8 trillion. So even if Robinhood takes 0.0001% from those guys, that means nothing to Schwab or Fidelity. That means everything for a company that's worth $10 billion that has $5.3 billion on their balance sheet and that is growing profitably. Like, the due diligence we've done on Robinhood over the past couple months has suggested this should be the trajectory. And if you didn't buy into the whole GameStop AMC narrative, which, Vlad was wrong for doing that, but he's pivoted. He changed the nature of the company. And I think his vision made a lot of sense. And they're not slowing down. The company's incredibly innovative. They announced a bunch of new things they're working on yesterday. And we'll talk about them more as the market opens. But that's where it's seeming like, this might not end up being the worst thing. Okay, so I'm not actually gonna show the market when it opens. I'm gonna go to my position. We're gonna go to the options position first, and because I've got to make a decision as soon as this market opens. We're gonna look at both of these and see how this ends up playing out. So let's go right to the retirement. Here's the retirement fund. Let's see what ends up happening to this, and then we'll keep going from there. So that is the position right here. When's the market opening? We have 20 seconds. All right, 20 seconds. This is the 150 contracts on Robinhood right now in the Roth, and we will see what ends up happening as the market opens. Thank you, everybody, for being with me. It's been a really fun ride. Let's just see what ends up happening now. Bitcoin at 51,000, Robinhood up 12%. Ladies and gentlemen, the stock market is now open. Okay, so this opens up right now at 94 cents. Robinhood's up 16% right now. 16%. Okay, so we're looking at 16%. We're not seeing a massive collapse yet. It's holding the gains. If it can hold 1350, I would be just so happy. Robinhood right now, 1375. The options position is currently up. It's loading. It's not loading. It's 13,800. So that's up. I think that's close to 90%. Let's see if that loads. Let's see. Fun tip: you never trade options at the open or close. Yeah, Chris, I'm definitely not closing them yet. I'm definitely not buying them. I'm gonna let it play out and kind of see how it plays. Can you guys see this? Yeah. So we're up 74%. We're up $5,000, but 5,800 right now. This is the option right now on the Roth. On the main position, here we go. We are up 20,000, 27,000. We're up 80%. All right, so we're up 27,000 on this one. Market value of 62,000. This option is now worth $1.41. We paid 78 cents for it. The goal on this one is to take out 30K, take out the initial. Even if it's doing it early, let's play with house money. Let's take out 30K. Robinhood is holding, man. It's up 16%. It's holding. It's actually holding. I don't want to speak too soon, but it is holding. It's not doing too bad. The $25 call is now up 6,000 even. Let me check my mom's position. My mom's position is 2025. My mom's position is up 6,300. She's up 6,300 on that one. This is the one where she already doubled this 5K in the summer. She's up 116% on this one. So we're not going to close anything yet. We're going to see how this plays out. Robinhood 1371. Look, if it was going to collapse, I think that we would have seen a little bit more momentum. It seems like there's a little bit more buying. So we'll see. We'll see. I think, my mom's position, I definitely want to get rid of today. I definitely want that to happen. She's up 6,400, 1367 on Robinhood. Okay, we'll look back at it in a second. Let's go to Webull. Let's see what else is happening. All right, so Robinhood's up 15%. S&P is up 1%. QQQ up 0.65%. NVIDIA up 1.7%. Cleanspark, $18.40, up 15% on the day. Absolutely incredible. Palantir continuing to hold $24. So it's staying there. It's just slightly below 24, but it is getting in that $23, $24 level. It's holding. DNA is up about 2%. Eli Lilly's up 0.69%. Square is up 1.9%. That kind of trades with Bitcoin a little bit. Bitcoin, wow. We are $50. We hit 52. We hit 52 on Bitcoin. Wow. We hit 52. 51,912. This is another reason why I got to be careful about selling Robinhood, because if Bitcoin gets to 53, 54, or 52.5, or just holds 52, Robinhood shouldn't sell off. It should not if Bitcoin keeps getting there. So we got to be a little careful about getting out of this Robinhood position as Bitcoin gets to this $52,000 level. Absolutely incredible on Bitcoin. I agree, Chris, that the market can still go red today. So we're going to wait in about 30 minutes. So we'll be doing it live. So about 10 a.m., we'll probably make the decision, maybe a little earlier. We'll see. But right now, Bitcoin's at 51,000. Airbnb is not getting any love from the market. It's down 3%. They announced a $6 billion buyback. By the way, Uber is up 8%. I was probably wrong on Uber. I'll admit that right now. I didn't like Uber at $30. You definitely shouldn't have listened to me when it came to Uber. I didn't really understand their business. Uber right now, $154 billion market cap. Is that reasonable for Uber? I don't really know. I got to look deeper in their finance. That seems just on a top level, kind of bird's eye view, little stretch. The Uber shareholders probably know way more than me. Maybe that valuation is fair. But why are they up 8%? Because they announced a $7 billion buyback. So Uber doing a $7 billion buyback is really, really, really big. They're buying back their stock, and I think they increased their guidance. And they had an investor day today. That's what happened. They had an investor day in the morning, and so that's why Uber is up right now. S&P 496, Cleanspark up 14%, Bitcoin 51,008, Robinhood 1348, Palantir $24.05 right now on Robinhood. The main position on Robinhood is currently up 19,000. That's up 15%. Robinhood $25 call is up 3,000 now. So those are down a bit, as we're seeing Robinhood up now only 12%. So it's about 1334. So we're going to give it some time. We're going to let it play out, and then we'll just see what happens with Robinhood in a little bit. So some people definitely taking their profits. We'll see if there's some dip buyers ready to take those profits. We got to get above 14 to really be in the clear. And we hit 1389. So we got there. The momentum is there. The question is now, are there enough buyers willing to take up this dip as people end up selling their shares? Roblox at $42, Arc Innovation $49, IWM $197. That's up 1% of the day. That's amazing. Shopify's up 1.7%. They were down about 12% yesterday. Truist $35.26. The entire market is green. SoFi $817. That's up about 1.81%. SMCI is up 5%, and it doesn't make a lot of sense. SMCI is up 5%, and maybe it does make a lot of sense. Who knows? But SMCI is not stopping. SMCI is just continuing the momentum, and it doesn't look like it has anywhere to go. Other than up. It doesn't look like it has anywhere to go other than up right now on SMCI. Celsius, where is Celsius? 62. It's up 4%, 4.5%. Celsius is green as well with the market. Celsius is green as well with the market. Bitcoin now $10, $3 away from 52. Look at that. There's 52. 52K on Bitcoin. Can it hold? That's the question. Cleanspark up 14% as we get there. Can it hold? Can Bitcoin hold 52 grand? There's probably a ton of sell side pressure there, but now the FOMO might be kicking in and people want to buy in. And obviously these inflows are still not stopping, right? When it comes to these ETFs. ARK-B, I would imagine, is up, what, 4% on the day? ARK-B is up 5.3%. IBIT, the BlackRock ETF, that's up 5.49%. So those bad boys are up. Uber's up 7%. NVIDIA's up 2%. SMH, the ETF, is up 1.49%. Cleanspark up 15%. Robinhood up about 14%. And you got ARK Innovation is up. IWM is up. Shopify is up. Wow. What a day. Bitcoin, 52,068. It's trying to get above there now. PayPal, where's PayPal? PayPal is red. This fucking stock. This is so stupid, dude. I can't believe it, but PayPal is red. It's like everything's green. Where's Tesla? Tesla's got to be green today. There's no way Tesla's red. Tesla's green. Okay, Tesla's up 1%. Look at the Max 7. Let's look at the Max 7. Max 7, we're green except Apple. Wow. I mean, Apple's flat, but Apple's not green. Meta's up 1.58%. Zuck's put a video yesterday basically saying, Tim Cook, your product sucks. And it was a little cringe, but he was selling his product as a founder. You got to sell your product. Now, I think he's kind of wrong on a couple of areas, but he basically said, you know what? Forget a fancy commercial. We're just going to straight up talk to the camera for 3 minutes and tell Tim Cook why he's wrong. Microsoft's up about 0.31%. Google, we still did well in the Google sell. Google's still below where we sold it. We sold it at about 148, 149. Google at 146. Amazon 168. NVIDIA 734. And Tesla 186 right now. Let's go to crypto stocks. Crypto is booming. Bitcoin 52, Cleanspark 14%, Robinhood 14%, Bitfarms 12%, MicroStrategy 11%, new 52-week high on MicroStrategy 764, Cypher up 12.5%, Hut 8 Mining up 11.9%, IREN up 13%, Riot up 9%, Marathon up 12%. This bad boy was 15 a week ago. Cleanspark 1807, Coinbase 152. Even Coinbase, dude, fell back to 129. It was high at 178. Now it's at 153. Wow. Palantir is down again. That's okay. Look, Palantir 2386, guys. We Tanner called me out yesterday. He was like, "You're complaining about $24, or 23 SoFi. We know this position SoFi's in at $8. We got to be grateful at 23.90. That's why I said at 24, you have to have a mentality that if it goes down, that's okay, because goodness, look at what it's done. But expecting 30 is going to be really tough. Now, maybe it gets there, but expecting it is tough. And from 16 to 20, I don't think it was crazy to expect, even though that even is a 30% gain. You would be lucky if you get that in a year. We're up 45% in 7 days. So I think with Palantir, you have to be very careful here. If you're buying, you have to buy with the assumption that it can go down. You just have to be. P-Sesh, thank you for the $5 super chat. Thanks, Amit. Hood options went up 23 this morning and sold out. Listened to you and Jesse yesterday. Congrats, P-Sesh. Let me know what strikes you have in the chat. I'm curious what strikes you had, but congratulations to you. $23,000 is a lot of freaking money, and you deserve it. You absolutely deserve it. Maybe I played a little bit role in helping you, but you ended up pulling the trigger, right? You ended up buying it. So that's a big, big deal. Congrats to you. Now let's go back to the Robinhood position. Robinhood position right now, the main one is up 25 grand. We're up 70% on that one. Okay. The retirement one is up 4,200. So that one's up about 53%. And the other one is up about 70%. Being up 70% is actually interesting because this one expires in 2026. So the liquidity here is not as much as it is in 2025. But obviously, I want it to be really safe and like if I was going to invest this much money, I wanted to give myself some time. So the goal is to take out the initial 30, guys. The goal is to take out the initial 30. The goal is to take out the initial 30 grand. And I think we should at least start. So let's put in an order for the initial contracts. We're gonna close around $10,000 of it. We're gonna close 1/3 of the initial. 10,000 divided by that's about 78 contracts. All right, so let's put in an order for 78 contracts. We're gonna put it a little high. We're gonna put the order at 1. So where is it gonna fill? At 126? Does it fill? No, it says it doesn't want to fill. 126. Low likely. We're gonna put in the order. Let's just do 78. We're going to put in the order at 135 and we'll see. Let's see. Probably not going to fill, but this is the first tranche of getting rid of that 30K. I think this is the first tranche of at least taking back that 30K. Robinhood right now, Cleanspark's 1829. Robinhood's at 1350. We got to be careful with this because this could be a very early exit. if we do it wrong. 10,525. That'll be 78 contracts we get rid of as Robinhood's at 123. It's at 13. The thing is, it's at 1350. And the reason I'm thinking about this is because this is the key point of resistance. If we get through 1350, we should be safe. We should be safe. The Roth is up 79 cents, 137. See, this is what I'm saying. Now it would fill at 130. All right, let's put it in the order. Let's put in 70 contracts. Let's put in 75. Let's do 70. And we're going to do 135. Let's see if they fill. They're probably not going to fill. Review order. Submit. Let's see. Let's see if they fill. They have not filled yet. They have not filled. All right, so we put them at 135. We put them at a decent price above 130. And let's see if they fill. Let's see if they fill. It went below 1350 for a second. Now it's at 1360. 1359. Again, the goal is to get the initial 30K out. The goal is get the initial 30K out. Let's test this. Let's close one of these bad boys at what, 128? All right, we'll go back to this. We put in the order. We'll go back to it. And then this is the Roth IRA position. This is up $4,000. This one I don't want to sell yet. This one, we got to give this one some time. We got to let that play out. Selling is so much harder than buying. Yeah, dude, it's so much harder than buying. See, right now it's at 134. That one should have filled the order, but it's with options. It's so volatile, right? We don't know. We don't know if it's actually going to fill. We don't know if it's going to fill. Yeah, look at these. These bad boys are at 140 almost, which means they theoretically should fill. But it's just a question of if they do. Bitcoin now 51,820. So Bitcoin is up there. Bitcoin is continuing to maintain or trying to maintain that 52,000 level. SMCI, where's SMCI still? SMCI, 1366 on Robinhood right now, up 15%. SMCI, oh my God, guys, it's up $50. Oh my God, Palantir 2412. Palantir just turned green, probably because of SMCI and NVIDIA. NVIDIA's up another 1.6%. Where's ARM? Is ARM still going up? ARM's up 8%. ARM basically recovered. Not recovered fully, but they got back like 50% of their gains that they lost yesterday. They were at 164. They went to like 113. Now they're at 130. Wow. The chase is just incredible. Cleanspark 1828, Robinhood 1361, Bitcoin 51,797. ARM continues to be at 129, SMCI at 844. That is insane, dude. That is insane. That's just incredible. That is absolutely incredible. I mean, that's pretty wild, dude. That is pretty wild. Like, can you guys believe that? Does that make sense? SMCI? Like, does it 7% now? Does that make sense? It just keeps going. The guys, this thing year to date is up 200 something percent, and it's been 1 month. It's been 1 month. Like SMCI year to date, 201%. I mean, congrats to those who bought it, dude. I mean, if you have options on this must be a ride of a lifetime playing this bad boy. I mean, it's just insanity. Just insanity. I hate that Chris told us about SMCI at 80. Yeah, I hate that too. Because, dude, Chris told us about a 10x a year before a 10x. We just had to hold that sucker for a year. And it would have 5x if we just, were patient within like 5 months. So let's see. All right, let's go back to the Robinhood position. Let's do another 70 closing at a cheaper price and get some money out of this. I don't want to because I think Robin is going to keep going higher, but we probably should. Let's do 50 of these bad boys at 1.29. So that would be a gain of 1.29 minus 0.78 divided by 0.78. That would be a 65% gain on 50 contracts. I think let's put in the order. Let's try to get some money back from the market. Let's see if it even closes at 1.29. Let's see. I don't think it's going to close, but let's see. Does it fill? No, that one didn't fill. Oh, it filled. Wow, it filled. It filled. 1.29. The market's giving it to us. Wow, it filled. It actually filled. So 1.35 is too much. But all right, so we have recovered 1/5. 6 divided by 30. Yeah, basically 1/5. 25% of the 30 grand that I'm trying to take out. Actually, we did 1,000 the other day. So yeah, 23%. We've recovered 7,000 out of the 30,000. So 23%. Wow, it filled at 129. It actually filled. Okay. So we made 65% on that. So now we have how many spreads do we have? let me go back to this position. We have, let me pull this up. It's still loading it. We have about 440. So we have what, 390 spreads left on this thing? 390 spreads. That's what it looks like. That's what it looks like. And then we'll go to the retirement in a second. Yeah, we have 390 left, and we have another fill for 50 at 1.35, which I think should fill today. 1.28 is the goal. Is that they filled instantaneously, dude. That means there's enough demand. There is enough demand for 2026 contracts, 65% above what I paid for them. But if we go to like 75%, that's a little bit too much. Where's Palantir? Let's go to Palantir. 849 on Super Micro. Palantir 2440. Wow. Palantir's not stopping either. It's continuing to run. It's incredible. It's continuing to run. Palantir's not slowing down. Palantir's keeping it moving. Palantir is what, 2440? Just insane, dude, for that to be 2440. Palantir doesn't care. Palantir kind of moving with SMCI and NVIDIA up 2%. I cannot stress how hard it is for Palantir to be up 2% right now. Let's look at the order flow. So far, the volume is, I thought the volume was 53 million. That was the market cap. I was like, that's insane. Volume's 13 million. Order flow is 53 million came in, 47 million left out. So you've gotten more buying than selling. Robinhood, where are we at on Robinhood on the price? Robinhood 1358 order flow. Let's look at that. 52 million came in, 47 million left. So it's still the selling and buying is almost the same, but there's probably some big buyers, but it's not enough yet. Celsius is up 6.5%. Look at that. Celsius is doing great. Up 6.5% as well. Tesla's now red for the day. PayPal's red. Bitcoin is 51.8. It's holding above 51. That's amazing. Airbnb is down 4%. I'm going to pull up their earnings in a second, but again, $6 billion buyback. That's what they announced this morning. Verizon is green, $40. Google, 147. Coca-Cola is now red after being green yesterday. Datadog is up 2%. They were down about 5% yesterday. Short QQQ is down about 2%. NASDAQ, 15,769. Snowflake, 230, $75 billion market cap. Palantir, 2445. DraftKings up 42.98. Cleanspark, 1831. Robinhood, 1355 right now. Palantir, 2441. Tim Lee says, I have 300 contracts at a $20 strike. I don't want to sell soon, but I feel like we're about to crash. 14 on a run, but I do want to pull my initial cash. Yeah, dude, it's tricky, right? This is where selling, leaving the position. So we got rid of 50 contracts, which I think was the right move. We got it at a good price. I mean, we're below the price we are right now, but I want to get rid of another 70, and then maybe we'll call it a day. So we have 70 to go at 135 right now. It's at 126. If we can see, but I got to be careful. I want to give it another 10 minutes. Maybe like we got rid of at least 50. Let's just relax now. Let's see how it plays out. We are not, the reason I'm saying let's relax is because we're not falling below 1350 yet. We're not falling below 1350. And that is really incredible price action that we're staying above this range. And so that to me is giving, I mean, look, if we're above 1350, maybe we've got some more momentum. Inspire Rise says, Mick, correct me if I'm wrong, but Snow and Palantir are close competitors. Why is one so much higher than the other? I don't want to be a conspiracy theorist, Inspire Rise, but everyone in the Palantir community has been trying to figure out why the hell Snowflake has a $70 billion market cap. One could argue their growth is at 37% year over year. Palantir's at 20. Okay. Is that worth 70 billion? I don't think so. The real reason, and again, tinfoil hat on, even though I don't think it's that much tinfoil hat, this is Wall Street's beloved SaaS play. This thing IPO'd at 250, ridiculous valuation back in 2020. Warren Buffett made about $1 billion off it. Like everyone on Wall Street just pummeled money into this. They pumped the thing up to 420, and then it collapsed all the way back down to about 130 over the coming year. So to me, Wall Street loves this stock. Everyone uses it. You know, they have 8,000 clients. In my opinion, they're not really transformational AI technology. Here's the key stat. This is why I'm not really biased when it comes to Snowflake. This is the stat I don't think anyone can deny. Snowflake did 4 acquisitions in 2023. If a company's innovating, do they have to acquire companies? Snowflake had to acquire a company called Neva, $150 million to try to build something like AIP, and they haven't even launched it yet, to the best of my knowledge. So to me, Palantir innovated AIP within 2 months after ChatGPT went mainstream, and then they held 2 conferences on it, and then they grew 70% year over year. They closed 103 deals last quarter. They only had 47 net new clients, which means, about 60 deals about AIP they launched to existing clients. You don't sell to your existing clients, especially at the level of AIP in terms of its sophistication, if AIP is a joke. So to me, if you were going to buy one of the SaaS plays, I wouldn't buy any of these valuations. That's a little bit elevated, but I would pick Palantir any day over Snowflake. Also, I mean, you're betting on Karp versus Frank Slootman. Frank Slootman's amazing operator, but he's not a founder. He doesn't eat, sweat, and bleed Snowflake, right? At the end of the day, it's just a business for him. For Alex Karp, it's a way of life. So to me, I'd just rather bet on him. S&P at 496, Cleanspark 1847. Robinhood still maintaining 1360, bro. It's maintaining 1360. We need to get to 14 to really see some momentum. But the fact that it's holding is just incredible. Absolutely incredible that it's holding these levels. Absolutely incredible. My sell order did not fill at those 70 yet. So the market's still not willing to pay what I want them to pay, which is I want them to give me 73% above what I paid. They were willing to give me 65%, but not 73%. That's what I want from the market. That's what I want. And if we crack 14, I'm going to get it. But we got to crack 14. Let me look at the order volume on Robinhood right now as well. Right now, where's the wall? Where's the wall at 14? At 14, how many shares are waiting for us? Damn. Yeah, 14 is going to be tough, guys. 14 is going to be a little tough. There's 121,000 shares at $14. And there's 34,000 at $13.99. So 14's not going to be easy, dude. 14's not going to be easy. That's going to be tough. That's going to be, unless we need an institution. By the way, I was looking at some of the 13Fs and 13Gs. Make sure you follow me on Twitter. I'm putting that in the chat. If you're not following me on Twitter, you have to be following me on Twitter. I'm going to be updating all of the 13Gs and 13Fs for Palantir. That's going to be all coming later today. So please, please, please make sure if you are not following on Twitter, follow on Twitter, make a Twitter account. It's great for Palantir updates. That's where we'll be doing the updates. But I saw a bunch of companies load up on Palantir and a bunch of companies, investment firms, load up on Robinhood in Q3. So smart money was buying. And I don't know if smart money's selling right now either. Look, it's been 23 minutes. We're still at 1360. By now, SoFi was fucking like $2 on their earnings, right? So, dude, if you're a SoFi bull, this must hurt right now. I'm a SoFi bull, but I don't have as heavy a position in SoFi, obviously. But if you're a SoFi bull, seeing Robinhood do this right now, and look, maybe our fate is waiting for us at $10. Maybe we're going to crash in the next couple of hours, but SoFi is, Robinhood put in more deposits than SoFi, dude. SoFi had 2.9 billion. Robinhood did fucking 4.6 billion. And they already did 4 billion in January. Dude, a lot of people made fun of me back in October saying I like Robinhood over SoFi, not just as a company, but as a trade, and maybe long-term as a company, but SoFi probably a little more sophisticated as a company. But guess what? Robinhood doesn't have any fucking loans on their balance sheet. They have other things they have to deal with, but they don't have to worry about, people not paying them back on the loans. Like, they just have to worry about making sure they build a really sophisticated financial product for people and that people are in an environment where they can trade. If we're in an environment to trade, Robinhood should end up doing well. Now, I'm still bullish on SoFi, $12 end of year on SoFi. That's my price target. But Robinhood could be $20. Robinhood could be $20. It really could, especially if Bitcoin does well. How is it up 15%, but my call is down 40% on the day? Mikey Chuck, what is the strike on your call and what is the year on your call? Options are very volatile. And also, if it's down 40%, I would give it a couple minutes. It'll probably be up in a little bit. Also depends when you bought it, dude. If you bought the call at 1360 back in December, then yeah, your call is not going to be doing that great. But if you bought, in November, December, when I think a lot of smart people were loading up on Robinhood, then your call should be up. So it really depends on those two metrics. SoFi could easily be $20 by the end of the year. It could. It could. My conservative price target is $12. I think the street is very concerned about loans, delinquencies, etc., and that's why the street is scared right now. But yeah, it absolutely could. I'm just saying that the time it took for Robinhood to get to this level, it made a lot more sense than SoFi, just in terms of how I was analyzing the companies, and that's at least how I thought of it. Alan says he called the earnings crush after earnings implied volatility goes down and the value does as well. Yeah, that is also true. All right, so let's talk a little bit about Robinhood, because I didn't get to give my thoughts really on what happened with the company. Just a couple slides I'll show you guys, and then we'll move on to SMCI, NVIDIA, and we'll keep going into all of those. So here we go. Here we go. So what did we see on Robinhood yesterday? That is why the market's up right now. Like what happened? And you know what? What's the real cool thing about this? I want to explain this really deeply and I want to get everyone's thoughts in the comments because this is the first company outside of Palantir I've done extreme levels of due diligence on. And every metric I thought would end up working out ended up working out. And that to me means that, when you really do some research on these companies, you can take some asymmetric bets and you can see that things are happening. I was only scared about gap profits. That ended up working out. But I want to go through what my mindset was before and what actually happened because we're not done at Robinhood. Okay. We got Palantir. There's certain things you can count under your belt as an investor. Palantir and Robinhood are the ones that are under my belt. Okay. I will count those as things I got under my belt and watch Robinhood crash to $8 and I'm gonna have to hold that under my belt as well. But now I need my third, dare I say, win. Okay. And I want to make sure the same mentality, which means I'm trying to develop an investing philosophy is what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to figure out what did I see in Palantir? What did I see in Robinhood that I can see in the next stock and that hopefully we get a successful one as well and keep using the mentality. So this is the biggest slide to me that we saw from, and PayPal. Yeah, I got a whole PayPal under my freaking belt. The belt is not by Louis Vuitton, okay? The belt is by Target. We got the belt from Target. PayPal makes the belt from Target. But again, PayPal is more of a trade. It wasn't like the amount of research I did on Robinhood. I felt like fucking Sherlock Holmes for the past 3 months, okay? I was like obsessed with this. I didn't end up making a YouTube channel as obsessed as I am with Palantir, but I was pretty obsessed. And so that's why it's really interesting to see how Robinhood plays out. This was the slide right here. Average cumulative net deposits tend to grow over time across our funded customer cohorts, and recent cohorts' initial net deposits are larger. Okay. This one is the slide where I was like, this is what they're doing. So what does that mean? What are they saying to the market without really saying it? They're saying, hey, we're paying a lot to get people on the platform. We gave our good friend Josh $17,000 just to bring over his 1.7 million, which is a lot of money. But once we get them on, they're going to keep giving us money. And their LTV, their lifetime value increases as we make more money on the back end because we're going to take their uninvested cash and we're going to invest it for them and make a shit ton of money off interest. Second of all, when we pay to get these upper class individuals, someone like Josh who has 1.7 million, that's a lot of money that he's bringing onto the platform. They don't deposit 10,000. They're going to deposit 100,000, which means we make a lot more money over time. Our assets under custody explode. Our assets under management explode, which means this is why you should let us do the strategy. And by the way, Mr. Market, we're doing this thing while we're profitable. We're doing this while we're not doing this. Like that was the biggest fear. That's why I sold half my calls because I was like, I'm really scared that if they're not profitable, the market's like, fuck this company. They're not profitable. They're paying too much money. They're freaking profitable, guys. That's the most exciting thing about this. They are actually doing this profitably. And so that's the part where it's crazy. Now, this all fails if the product isn't exceptional, but they got $4 billion in deposits in January alone because the product's experience is simply better than other things out there, or it's at least just as good. That was the most important thing from the slide that we saw yesterday. Another big thing, look at crypto volumes. Crypto is up 6.5 billion last month, 6.5 billion in December. It went from 1.2 billion in September to it's 6x. They 6x the crypto notional volumes on the platform. And this is what I thought would happen in November. And if I knew this would happen in October, I would be up like 3x today. Because the call options that I bought were about 20 cents in October. If I knew this shit was happening in October, if I really had conviction, we would be up almost 5x. The call options right now are what? $1.30. We would be up more than 5x. But I figured it out in November when the call options were 78 cents. And this is why, timing matters. I've talked to people over Twitter and people that I met over the past couple months that figured this shit out in September. And because they figured it out in September, I wish I'd met them in September. They're sitting on some very hefty gains right now. So I figured it out a little bit late, but I figured it out before December. And as you can see in December, it went up to 6.5 billion. They make dollars on crypto because they take a 0.35% spread. And that's also what helps Robinhood. So those are the main things I looked at. And that's why we saw Robinhood do well. 1373 on Robinhood. 1373 on Robinhood right now. We got 1373 on Robinhood. The retirement account, those options are still at 77 cents. So those aren't moving too crazy yet, but we're at 1373. So we're above 1350. That's what really matters, dude. If we can hold above 1350, then we're going to do well. But we got to hold above 1350. Look at the rest of the market. S&P's up almost 1%, 0.61497. Cleanspark, 1860. Okay, I haven't even looked at my Cleanspark option, so let me take a look at that. I haven't even looked at that. Okay, so here are the Cleanspark options. This is what we got on Cleanspark. We are up 42%. We're up $2,000 on those. We're up $2,000. Cleanspark options, we're up $2,000. Again, if you simulate these returns, we get Cleanspark at 20. then we should make a max profit of close to, you see that right there? Right there, 20 grand. 20 grand. But we're probably going to sell, in the summer. So we're looking at 15, 16 grand around about there. But if we can get there, then that's what Cleanspark's going to look like. So right now you might say, oh, Amit, why aren't you up 20 grand right now if your strikes are for $20? Because this is a spread that has time on it. So it takes time for this thing to mature. And over time, as this matures, if we get closer, the more in the money we are as we get closer to the date, the better the contract will do. And then we'll keep going from there. Amit, are you selling the 2025 options? I want to today, but I want to be careful in selling because Robinhood's holding 1350 and I don't want to sell those too early. There's no point to sell those too early. There's no point to sell those too early yet. I mean, I think we should sell, but we got to be a little careful on this because this one can go very well if we just give it some time. Palantir is at 2456. Holy crap. So Palantir is not stopping either. Look at that. Up 2%, dude. We're trying to make a run at $25 again. Goodness gracious. Bitcoin's not stopping. Bitcoin's still maintaining 52. This is incredible. How far do you get at your options? At least 18 months. At least 18 months. Never do weeklies, never do monthlies. As fun as it may be, we're going to do 18 months. We're going to do 18 months. To me, I don't gamble. But if you did buy the weeklies and monthlies, we can check those in a second. You're probably up a lot of money right now. So, but I'm too scared to do that, dude. I'm too scared. Okay, my mom's position. My mom just texted me. She's like, hey, when do I sell? Because she has I bought one of hers on the phone for her just so she could, last week on her phone. So she's up 6,200. That's her money. What would they close at? If I wanted to close all 52 of these at 1.21, they probably wouldn't close. Oh, man. See, my mom, dude, I want my mom to make a lot of money on this. If Robinhood goes to 20 by the end of the year, even if by the summer, she's up 15 grand. I really want to give my mom a big W here, dude. She deserves it. She really deserves it. And so I want to be careful here. But it's so hard to think what the fuck's going to happen by the end of the year. Like with my money, I'll let it wait until the end of the year. With hers, I don't know, dude. I mean, right now she could get away with almost 7 grand, 6,500. She can max out her IRA. She wanted to do that. Amit, are you Israeli? No, I'm Indian. People have said I look Israeli though. And by the way, Amit is an Israeli name. It's an Arabic name, Israeli name. It's a Hindi name. Clova says I got $13 calls on the monthly. Okay, Clova, how much are you up? How much are you up right now? How much are you up? I want to know. $13 on the monthly. That's amazing. I thought that was for your sister. No, my sister has SoFi. My sister, we're controlling her SoFi position. Where's Robinhood? Oh, wow, Robinhood's. Okay, so Robinhood's taking a little bit of a dip, 1327. So there you go. There's a little bit of a dip. So this is going to be the momentum. This is the next hour of can we hold 13? This is going to be the big thing for Robinhood. Can we hold 13? That's the big thing right now. If we can hold 13, we're going to do well. If we can't, then it's gonna tank. Maybe we sell half of our shit. Maybe we do that. We sell half. I think that's reasonable. We sell half, so we sell 20 of the spreads out of the 50. Whole market taking a little bit of a breather right now. My options are still up, but they're not filling. I said they're at 137, but they're not filling, even though we put a 135 limit on those. Amit means friend from work. Okay, that's nice. We got my other Amit in Hindi means infinite as well. So hopefully Bitcoin goes to infinity. Okay, where's hers? Hers are at 110. Yeah, it's falling a little bit now. It's falling a little bit. But again, guys, even if Robinhood falls, the fundamentals on this company are intact. The question is just, do we take it out? What would they fill at? If we do 52 spreads at 1, they would fill at 1. At 120, you see that high likelihood, low likelihood? That's what determines if they're going to fill or not. Let's see. She's up, 79% on these right now? Okay, let's put in 25 at 120. Let's see if those fill. 25 at 120. Let's see if we get her those. Submit. And now we'll give it a little time. I think 120 is reasonable if we can hold 13. But holding 13 is the hard part. Holding 13 is the hard part right here. Bitcoin, 51,911. S&P, 496. Cleanspark, 1809. Robinhood, 13. So we got some people taking profits, up 10%. We got some people taking profits. This is the hard part about Robinhood. We gotta get that bad boy to stay at 1350. Now, again, could be an intraday dip. A lot of people might end up coming in and swooping it up in the low 13s. So this is the part we got to think about when it comes to Robinhood. I'm looking at the book volume right now on this bad boy and seeing how bad it is. There's really not a lot of sellers until you get to 1350, quite frankly. 1350 is a little bit more resistance. Like what I'm looking at, $14 is going to be really hard to crack. If we crack through 14, we're going to 15 like instantaneously. Like if we crack 14 somehow, we're not stopping. But is there enough momentum to get us there? Like there's nothing stopping us from 1350, dude. There's like 10, 15,000 shares. That's it. 1390 though. That's going to be the hard part. Where's Uber? Uber's still up. Uber's up. What is it? Wow. Up 11% on Uber. Palantir 2474. Holy crap. Palantir is not stopping either. Look at Palantir. Look at that. It's really remarkable, dude. It doesn't want to go. It doesn't want to leave. It doesn't want to leave. Derek, if you're watching, I got your text. I'll respond to you in a bit. I got your text. I can't literally respond right now because I'm trying to manage this position, but I got your text. This is insane, dude. This is incredible. This is absolutely incredible. Wow, 2474. 2474. Wow. This is holy crap, dude. This is insane. Okay. Cool. So 2472 on Robinhood right now. Arthur, amid Apple's going straight into the dumpster. Where's Apple right now? Where is Apple? Apple. Wow, Apple 183. Why is Apple down? This comment right here by Adrian. I don't know who's buying, but I'm happy. That's all of us right now. No one knows who the fuck is buying this market, but we're all really. Oh, my mom's filled. So we got rid of 25. Wait, did it? Why does it look like it filled? No, it didn't fill. Wait, it says it filled. Hold on. Did it fill? Did her shit fill? Let me see. No, it didn't fill. Robinhood was being stupid. The app was being stupid. It didn't fill yet. It didn't fill. Yeah, I want to leave that out for her, dude. I don't. This filling right here, it makes no sense, dude. If Bitcoin goes to 56, if Bitcoin goes to 60K, this is gonna be stupid. There's no reason for Robinhood to be at 13. So even if we don't sell, that's okay. Okay, so Apple at 183. What else do we have? ARM is up 11%. Who's buying this shit, dude? What schmucks are? Oh my God, SMCI is up 10%. Oh my God. Oh my goodness. Oh my God, dude. This thing's trying to go for 900. This thing is trying to go for 900. Oh my goodness. Dude, Celsius is up 2%. Nvidia's up 2. Nvidia's at 740. QQQ 431. DraftKings 43. Cleanspark. All right, Cleanspark's falling a little bit now. Robin at 1311. It's got to hold 13, dude. It's a battle right now for 13. So we sold 50 spreads today. That's what we got out of the main position. Quite frankly, I'm fine leaving the main position the way it is because that has till 2026. We really don't got to worry about that. That should be able to just play out, even if 2024 is bad, which I don't think 2024 is going to be bad. Retirement account is Retirement account is just whatever. Retirement account, we're barely up on this one. We're up 28%. I'd rather leave this one than do it. I'd rather let this play out, to be honest, because Bitcoin has its momentum after the halving. Robinhood's not going to be $13. I mean, this thing we should make a 2x on these calls if Bitcoin does what it needs to do. So I don't want to sell the retirement account yet, dude. I think we'd rather just leave it there. Now the question is, can Robinhood hold above 13? If it doesn't, the thing is, if it doesn't, I think there's going to be smart money that loads up because nothing in that report was bad, right? And so I don't think smart money is going to be chilling. SoFi 821, 2.31%. Palantir 2460. Should we buy some Palantir in the public fund? Should we buy some Palantir or no? What do you guys say? We got some money in the public fund that we got to do some of it, right? Look at this. This is the public fund. We got some money. Should we buy some? Should we buy 10 shares just for the hell of it? Should we? You guys got to give me if I see more no's than yes, I'm not going to buy it. I know we're buying at a bad price. I mean, 24.60 is definitely not a good price. It's a euphoric price, but it is what it is. Everyone always says no. Yeah, because my chat is smart, dude. My chat's not dumb. My chat actually understands valuations. If this was Tesla, should I buy at 400? Yeah, 20 million cars in 2 days. Like, that's what the Tesla chat would be saying. No shade to Tesla. I love Tesla. But we know some of these Tesla chats on the internet are not the same. Everyone's saying no. Okay. All right. Everyone's saying no. Thomas gave me the office meme. Please, God, no. He gave me the office. All right. Forget it. We're not going to do it. We're going to wait. We are in FOMO mode, so we got to protect you. Yeah, that's true. You guys got to protect me when it gets to FOMO mode. Got to protect me there. Oh boy, how is this running? Okay, so let's see. So Vlad's gonna be on at 1 p.m. So we'll talk to him there. Let's get Gene Munster. He's saying AI is not going. Let's hear his thoughts, and then we'll check in on these equities. SMCI absolutely killing it. Here we go.
Inflation data prompting a sharp drop in tech stocks. Joining us right now with more on the sector is Gene Munster, managing partner at Deepwater Asset Management. Has the calculation or valuation issue changed given what we're seeing in terms of CPI? And then obviously what I think folks think Jay Powell is actually no longer going to be doing anytime soon.
Andrew, I think it does. I think it pushes back what that inflection point is. I'm a believer that we're going to get to a 3 to 5 year bull market here powered by AI. But investors need to get on the right side in terms of when we're going to see these rates start to go down. Expectations now, I think, are for June. And my sense is it's probably going to be later than that. I think this is just the most sticky part, and I think is a good reminder to inflation does matter in the near term with tech stocks. And Andrew, just to emphasize this point, it may seem subtle to push back a window by 2, 3, 4 months, but if we look back at 2021, different environment, rates were going up at that time, but the Mag 7 was down 32% in the 6 months from October of 21 when those rates started to peak. And then if you look at the emerging tech within the NASDAQ, that was down 70%. And so rates do matter. I think investors are still off sides when it comes to when to expect some of these cuts. It does dampen some of my enthusiasm because, as I mentioned, I'm very bold up about where this ultimately is going to go. But investors need to right size when these rate cuts are going to happen.
Given what you just suggested, then what do? You want to own none of this? You just want to wait? What do you? And when would you be in?
So I think that
Lyft is up 40%. We'll get back to Gene in a second. Let me go through some of the more of these equities because we got a lot of crazy shit happening right now. Thank you everybody for being here with me here today. We'll go back to Gene, but I want to look at some of this. Palantir's up 3%. So Palantir's not stopping, 24.70. Dude, if we create a floor that's freaking $24, imagine that earnings leaves us at 24 for the rest of the year and higher. I mean, like, bye-bye below 20. We're not coming back to you. This is the roaring effing 20s. We are gone. This is a new decade. So that would be incredible for Palantir. SMCI is at 873. It was at 865 2 minutes ago. I think it's trying to hit 900. I think it's going. The FOMO is strong. It's up 10%. SMCI has added $28 billion to its market cap in less than 8 days. I mean, it's just insane. Robinhood is struggling for 13. Cleanspark 1786. Robinhood 1319. It's still holding, which is amazing, but it's struggling at that 1319 range. We need some more smart money coming in, and maybe we get that intraday. But so far, it's definitely just chilling right there. SMCI 870. Tesla 185. Celsius 6143 up 2.59%. Celsius incredible. I know Chris has a lot of Celsius, so if you're into Celsius, then I mean, Celsius is doing well. 6140 bucks. It was at 52 last week. Amit, you have to bring up Uber. We talked about Uber cashing a couple of, well, not like 30 minutes ago. Uber right now, 76 bucks, up 11%. The buyback did it for them. It keeps hitting all-time high, and it's not a Mag 7. Most of these stocks like Palantir are still down 50% from all-time high. That is true. What is Uber's all-time high? Uber's all-time, oh, wow, it's today. Before it was 56. Yeah, guys. I mean, let me look at Uber's revenues real quick because I want to actually see what is Uber doing. What did they do because I think 156 billion, quite frankly, and this is probably very naive, is a bit insane for this company. But I'm definitely wrong about this because the market obviously disagrees. So where are their results? Let's look at this real quick. What are their just basic numbers I want to see? Okay, so they made $1 billion in profit. That'll do it. Yeah, you make 1.4 billion in profit, that'll do it. What is their revenue for the full year? So they do gross bookings of about 38 billion a quarter. They have 150 million customers. Also, they introduced advertising the other day. Not the other day, like the other month, like about 3-4 months ago. So that is going to be a huge business for them. They did 9 billion in revenue in 2023, 9.9 billion. And of that, I think they made 3 billion in profits, almost 33%. I might be wrong on that, but close to that. And so, yeah, there you go. Now 150 billion. I got to do the numbers and see if those multiples make sense, but revenue is growing at 15% year over year, 1.4 billion in net income in 1 quarter alone. I don't think the numbers are that crazy, actually. I think the numbers can get there. I think the numbers kind of make some sense on Uber. So congrats. And they're doing a $7 billion share buyback. So they're going to get rid of some dilution. Where's Palantir? 2484. Let's see 25. Let's see 25 again, dude. Let's see 25 again. Robinhood maintaining 1318. Bitcoin now falling. So that's probably why Robinhood's falling a little bit. Bitcoin 51.4. So if it holds 51 still, that'll be incredible. Cleanspark 1773. Robinhood 1318, SoFi 825, Palantir 2482. Someone said in the chat, if Nvidia collapses, Palantir collapses. I mean, yeah, but if Nvidia goes to the moon, Palantir goes to the moon too. So I don't know, guys. I like February 21st. You guys better tune in for that live stream because that live stream is going to determine the trajectory of this year, in my opinion. That live stream is going to determine what the hell happens this year. If advertising revenue is huge, yeah. Look, when you're waiting for an Uber, you're staring at your phone. They show you a little Dunkin' Donuts ad right there. I mean, boom. Maybe I want to get some Dunkin' Donuts because it's, that's a great that's an intimate spot to be advertised to. And with Google and search kind of not collapsing, but not being maybe the preferred destination as much over the next coming years, you need to get people where they are. And Meta is where people are, where they're scrolling through Instagram. Uber, where you're waiting for your ride. That is not the worst place in the world, in my opinion, to advertise. Let me show you my TFC calls. I don't think I showed you guys these calls. These calls are doing pretty well as well. Now, these calls were up like 13,000, but TFC collapsed over the past couple of days. These are up 38% at 7,000. These were up about 13, 14 grand when TFC was 38. Now TFC is 35. The dip on TFC is stupid. There's no regional banking crisis. I believe that's going to become some massive contagion. And if it does, it's definitely not going to bankrupt TFC. We have till 2026 on these. The Fed cuts rates. All those loan losses start to decrease on TFC's balance book. And this guy, if this guy gets to 45 by 2026, we're looking at about 45 grand in profits here. Probably will exit around 35 grand. I am very patient on TFC. This one can wait. This one, we got these super cheap. So TFC, we're just going to let it play out. TFC would be up a lot more, though, if the New York Community Bank thing didn't collapse. Coinbase is doing better than Hood. Where's Coinbase right now? Palantir 2490. Coinbase, wow, 12%. I'm surprised Coinbase is up this much as well. Coinbase is going up. Cleanspark back in the 18s, up 13%. Robinhood 1312. It might need some money to come in a few minutes in order for this to happen. But Robinhood 1312 up 10% now on the day. Coinbase 157 up 12% as well. Uber 76, Palantir 2488. Palantir 2488 up 3.79. Wow, Palantir 2492. Uh-oh, guys. We might have to do a little one share. Might have to do a little nudgy nudge. Come on, Palantir. We are back. See my voice cracking. I'm so happy. We are back. One nudgy nudge. Here we go. One nudgy nudge. 2491. 2495. I give it a nudge. 2495. I give it a nudge. I'll be waiting. You know that one share. You know what that damn one share does. I wish the one share thing I could do on Bitcoin and I could just buy a whole Bitcoin and then be like, all right, now we're on to the next thousands of Bitcoin. But it doesn't work on Bitcoin. But maybe it does work. I just don't have enough money to do it on Bitcoin. All right, 2495. We're doing it. That's where we do it. 2495. 24. There we go. 24.95. It's done. It's done. It's done. That's the one share. 24.95. Here we go. Here we go. 24.96. Now we need to get back to 25. Come on, baby. 24.95 or 5 cents away. Let me look at the order volume on this guy. Oh, damn. 25 is going to be hard, guys. I don't know if my one share is going to help. There's about 40,000 shares waiting at 25. And there's like 8,000 at 24.99. Yeah, there's going to be my one share, I believe, will come through, but it might take a little bit of time because there's got to be someone willing to buy fucking 44,000 shares at $25 for this to happen. So let's see. Let's see. We got to give it a minute on this one. Robinhood, where's the hood? Hood is at 13. Wow, 1332. Okay. It's smart money bought it at 13 or 1312. So more people came back into this. More people came back in. That's why I'm saying I got to really be patient on Robinhood, dude. I don't want to just take profits for the hell of it. There's no point. The numbers were good. Same thing with Palantir, dude. When Palantir went from fucking 19 or 16 to 21, if you took profits because you were like, this is crazy, the fundamentals of the business were phenomenal on Palantir. There was no reason to exit that early. There was just no reason. Now, I know 30% is a lot. I get it. But still, like, if you saw NVIDIA and SMCI, like, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to be like, let me just hold on for a second. Let me just not take my gains that quickly. With Robinhood, what's the analogy? Bitcoin. If Bitcoin's at 51.7, 52, 53, Robinhood's not going to be stuck at $13, dude. Robinhood is going to 14, 15. Robinhood has over $3 billion worth of crypto in custodian on their platform. Like, that thing's not slowing down. That thing's going up. People are buying a shit ton of Bitcoin right now, today on Robinhood. So I think we got to be very careful with exiting on Robinhood because there's a lot of gains we can miss out on. SMCI is at 880. I said it was going for 900. It's $20 away. I said it looks like it wants 900. It looks like it wants 900. Amit, your $24 hypothesis is increasingly proving to be true. Yeah, and today's a green day, so it looks good. That hypothesis on a red day is when it really needs to prove itself. Like when we have a nasty red day. Oh, 25. There we fucking go. The one share does what the one share needs to do. $25. We just busted through that wall like I busted when I was 18 years old with my girlfriend for the first time. This is insane, dude. There we go. 50,000 shares was nothing. We busted through that. $25. Busted right through. $25.05 on Robinhood. Or sorry, on Palantir. Dude, if this was on Robinhood, that would be crazy. $25 on Palantir. Look at that. Look at that. It's so beautiful, dude. It's just so fucking sexy. It's so beautiful. $25.06, up 4% on the day. The market wants the fucking stock, dude. They want the stock. Now, granted, let me say this again. Disclaimer: please do not buy Palantir at $25 and FOMO in, thinking that this thing's going to 30. You have to be really careful. Really careful, guys. This is a great day. It's green. Things can change in an instant. So please, please, please do not FOMO into this one because 25 is awesome, but there's a lot of sellers at 25. It's got to maintain 25, just like some of these other stocks are trying to maintain their levels. Cleanspark 1818. But there you go, 25.11. 25.11. Kelly must love you so much, dog, because my girl would have beat my ass for saying that on a stream. She knows I'm an entertainer, dude. I gotta throw in some jokes. I did say on Twitter in the morning, for those that I said to everyone who never joined a stream, please make sure to join a stream because, well, let me just read you what I said. Palantir right now 25.07. This is what I said. Let me know if you guys agree with this. I said, I am a hilarious individual, so you will laugh with me or at the very worst, laugh at me, sometimes even choke on your coffee because that's how funny this can get. Maybe there were some people that choked on their coffee when we made the busted joke. I don't know. I mean, some people have told me before they've literally spit out their coffee as I've made some of my salacious jokes on the stream. But nonetheless, this is why we're here. $25, dude. People love selling 25 Palantir at 25. Yeah, people do. And that's why I'm saying you got to be really careful, dude. It's fun to see it get here, but we need weeks of consolidation at 24 to 25 to even think that we're past the green light, and that we can actually just keep going forward and forward. So we got to see. Hoping it's not hype, but the real value unveiling here. I don't no. So let me read this. This is another thing I posted yesterday. This is actually a good thread. You would have seen it if you were subscribed to my Substack. I published my Substack yesterday for the first time in a week because I've been so busy. I think it was a really good Substack. I got a lot of good feedback. We completely reviewed everything in earnings and talked about it. But this is what I published yesterday that I think a lot of you guys will agree with right here. I think a lot of you will agree with this. Let me just read this real quick. So here we go. While one can argue that Palantir may be due for a pullback because it has run up quickly, I do not think one can argue that Palantir does not deserve the current price it has right now, proving to your point that like the hype is real. Palantir more than tripled last year after becoming fully GAAP profitable and reaching a low of about $6. Many people, including myself, saw the company having another solid year, but we did not think it would happen this quickly. Obviously, it's happened very quickly. This gives the market some concerns. So the bear case is Palantir has added $25 billion in market cap after reporting $2.6 billion in revenue, not profits. They only did $200 million in profits last year, half of that being from interest income, meaning the business itself did not generate the profits. Their cash on the balance sheets generated the profits. So a 40% run, now almost 50% run, is unsustainable, and it's probably going to pull back. But what is the bull case? And I think this is very important to understand as well. Although Palantir has run aggressively, it is warranted for a variety of reasons. First of all, NVIDIA has added $500 billion into market cap in 5 days. Even though Palantir is not growing like NVIDIA, it's in the same sector, which is AI. The market is about narratives and perceptions. And the market's narrative around Palantir is that it's AI. And they proved the numbers that were worth to justify that the hype is real when it comes to AI. Comparable software companies like Snowflake, Datadog, although growing faster, have market cap similar to Palantir. Datadog at about $45 billion, Snowflake at about $75 billion. This then begs the question, if the market is willing to give a premium to other software players that are likely not as important and transformational when it comes to AI, why wouldn't they give that to Palantir? Why doesn't Palantir deserve a similar valuation, even if you think it's overvalued conventionally? If you're going to give Snowflake $70 billion, there's no way in hell you're giving Palantir $20 billion, $25 billion. Like that doesn't make any sense. Finally, they put up the numbers. 70% US commercial growth is nothing to overlook. They may be sandbagging how quickly they will be able to accelerate their commercial boot camps. The company grew customer count 35%, 103 deals in Q4. The street upgraded Palantir across the board. You can see all the price targets. So if you can argue the run-up has happened too quickly, but you can't argue that a $22 to $25 price target is not warranted for Palantir. That is my perspective here when it comes to Palantir. And we'll see. 24.93 right now on Palantir. Cleanspark 18.22. Robinhood 1330. Robinhood's still holding that 1330 level. We got to break through to 1350, 1360. Maybe Power Hour does it for us in a few hours. But we are holding on. SoFi 828. SoFi's getting love as well, up 3%. Apple's down almost 1% today. So Apple and PayPal are not getting any love. Airbnb's not getting love. Upstart's not getting love. Upstart down 20%. Upstart was halted yesterday. That's how bad Upstart was. They had a net loss. They're guiding for losses. I mean, it's just not good. And then everything else seems to be up. Enphase is up 3% as well. Look at that. Coinbase up 12% now. Where's MicroStrategy? MSTR has to be up also. MSTR 10%, guys. Wow. That is, I think 30 end of year for Palantir is also very possible, but we might have to go through some peaks and valleys to get there. But if we stay at 24, 25 for the rest of the year, and then we get to 30, the thing is, if it keeps breaking 25 every single day, I don't know if 30 is that far away, because unless a little correction happens in the broader markets, and if it does happen and we fall to 22, okay, boo-hoo, we're at 22. Like, dude, we fucking called this, guys. We fucking called this at $6, $7, even at $12, $13. Everyone was here. Everyone who's probably in this stock has somewhat of an average that's way better than what the street is buying it right now. We fucking called this. We knew this was going to happen. We saw the writing on the wall. We knew Carp doesn't lose. We knew Teal doesn't lose. We knew you're betting on a guy who is actually saying, let me deliver value, not let me sell you some stupid PowerPoint, some stupid steak dinner, some stupid fucking piece of software that's not going to work after 2 years, but you bought it because you know my boss's girlfriend, and so that's why you're buying it. Like, we actually called something fundamental happening in their technology, and we called it when the shit was down 80% year to date. Absolutely incredible, guys. Absolutely incredible. This is a big community win, dude, because there's no way we would have got Palantir. There's no way retail would have beat the street on Palantir if like the hundreds of thousands of us every day on YouTube and Twitter did not come together to try to figure this shit out. Because this was hard, dude. When this shit was $6, this was hard, man. This was really tough because every day you kept asking yourself, dude, why the fuck? Like, why am I holding on to this company that has a 20-person sales force? The reason was because they had a fucking product that is equivalent to a 10,000 person sales force, because that product is just that good. So shout out to everybody, man. Holding this was tough, but we did it. Palantir Hotline says, we need buying here to build new volume sales. I did my part and bought 1,000 shares at 25. Long-term target 100 a share. Yeah, we definitely need new buying here to create volume sales. I'm probably not buying 1,000 shares at 25. I don't want to do that yet. I want to give it some time and see if it really consolidates over the next few weeks. I have no problem, but I want to give it some time because, again, this run is pretty insane. And so my thing is, and Palantir Hotline has a very good average, and you have a long-term horizon. So if you're buying it and you have a long-term horizon, no problem. But for those that are trying to buy at 25, flipping at 30, you could either be right or you could be wrong. But that's a risk I personally wouldn't want to take. So if you buy it at 25, look, if you think the stock's 250 in 10 years, which is, if Nvidia gets to fucking 5 trillion in market cap, can Palantir get to 300 billion? Is that crazy? I don't think so. I really don't think Palantir, it's crazy for Palantir to say, hey, we can go from 30 billion to 300 billion if Nvidia's at 4 or 5 trillion, or Tesla's at 5, 6 trillion, whatever it is. So 25, I don't think is a bad buy. I think it's a bad buy if you're trying to flip it at 30, because odds are, it might not hold 25 unless there's a ton of buying volume. And we got to see if that happens. We got to see. Nvidia 740, where's SMCI? 874, because SMCI is pulling back a little bit. Cleanspark's not stopping. Cleanspark is, Google's still at 146, so we still did good on the Google sell, dude. Google is still at 146. Cleanspark 1840, up 15%. Cleanspark is still up. Palantir Hotline says, I remember spending my entire bi-weekly paychecks on Palantir at 6 to 7 range, and it literally felt like setting my money on fire. Yeah, that is. I remember being at the chiropractor, and because my back was fucked up in 2023, and I was just buying, a couple hundred here, just like, all right, time to set some money on fire before this chiropractor works on my back. And it's just like, it was just, I remember those days because it was just like, I was already down fucking 30,000. I was like, why don't I get down 40,000? Why not? But we stuck through it, dude. 24.95. And look, I'm willing to buy more. This is something I want to hold for the next 10 years. I want to buy more. I just want to see price action consolidate, and then I'll buy more. But we got to see price action consolidate. Digital content. PayPal will rise. Just watch. What is that meme where the kid has his fist out? It's like, we'll do it. I promise we'll do it with PayPal. Oh my God, PayPal. It's just taking us through the ringer. On PayPal. It is what it is. Eventually it'll have its moment. There's just no catalyst, no narrative for it to play it out, but we'll see. All right, let's go back to Gene Munster and hear what he's thinking about tech stocks, and then we'll keep going.
It is wise to be mostly in now because, again, I think we're going to this 3 to 5 year bull market. We talked about the negative lever related to inflation, but there is a massive positive lever related to AI. And investors have struggled about how to kind of capture and guess what the impact is going to be. And my sense is that you need to put this on a spectrum of AI and its impact and other paradigm shifts. And I would put the PC at a 20, mobile 25, the internet 50, electricity at 100, a scale 1 to 100. Electricity is at 100. AI is 99. It would be 100 if it not for you need electricity to power AI. So when you have that perspective, when I have that perspective, and I think about what's going on with these interest rates and inflation and where investors are in the near term, I think you can get kind of misled into worrying about what's going to happen over the next 3 to 6 months. And ultimately, if this is as big of a paradigm shift as I think it is, even if it's half as big, I think we could see the NASDAQ move up considerably, 2x in the next 2 to 3 years.
Okay, different question. We were talking.
I would put the NASDAQ at around 30 grand or 35 grand, something like that, which is a pretty big thing.
Earlier about the Instagram post and Facebook post that Zuck put out about the Meta Quest 3 versus Vision Pro. I said, I think for right now, I agree with him. I think I think for the use case, they may be the winner. And for most people who can't really afford $3,500, it's a pretty great product at $500. What do you think?
I think at this point, it's a good product at 500. I don't think it's mainstream. They've sold, call it 8 million units before the last 6 years leading up to Quest 3. They've probably done another 1 million units since that's come out. And so I think it's good, but I still don't think it's still such a big gap between what Vision Pro is. And of course, there's a big price gap. It's a 7x price gap there too. I would just sum it up that I don't think it's mainstream yet. I don't think Quest 3 is mainstream. It will be the alternative to Vision Pro. And I will put another stake in the ground here, is that over the next 5 to 10 years, spatial computing, whether you call it spatial computing or the metaverse, is going to be something. Meta's got a lot of work to do to catch up to even get close to where Apple is. I think that they will help close that gap, and I think they will be the spatial computing metaverse device for 80% of the world, and Apple's going to own the 20%.
Wow. Okay, so that means that, but that would be like being a winner. I mean, a lot of people are sort of writing off Meta, and I think I've been saying the whole time is you may think that the Vision Pro device is better, and technically in so many ways it is, but when you add the weight and the cost and all these other things, and then you look at this other product, you say to yourself, okay, maybe at least for now, and it could be like an Android.
I think that's the right analogy. That's exactly how I think about it. This is Apple versus Android. In this case, Meta's going to have control of the 80%. Google, really, Samsung, they're nowhere to be found here. And it is just surprising to me how slow that they have been to move here. So I think that this is an advantage to Meta. As Meta shareholders, I wish they wouldn't be spending $15 billion a year on Reality Labs. I think that they could accomplish what they're doing for half that much. But they are, I think, this is a force of will of Zuckerberg. When Zuckerberg puts his mind to something, so he's going to have a device that's going to be good enough to capture that 80%. And once app developers, of course, start to make progress, I think you're going to see more of this adoption curve. It's going to take years to get there, but it's going to be Apple and Meta when it comes to spatial computing.
Gene, very quickly, I just want to make sure I heard you correctly. What were you saying? You think AI is going to push the NASDAQ to 2 to 3 times the level in the next 2 to 3 years? Or did I mishear that? Because you're thinking NASDAQ 30,000 to 45,000 in the next 2 to 3 years?
I believe we're going into a 3 to 5 year bull market that is going to end with a bubble. The bubble will burst, but I think we're in the front end of that 3 to 5 year bull market. If you look at what the Qs are trading at now, NASDAQ's trading about 28 times. It peaked at 100 times back in 2000. Now, because of the weightings of the mega caps, we're not going to see, a 3x return here. But if I'm right that this is, in fact, much bigger than what the internet is, you can build a case that there will be capital rushing in to enable this AI, and you will see a bubble emerging. And so whether it's a 2x or a 3x, I don't know what it is, but I do know that AI is going to be transformative and power the market higher.
Okay.
Right now on the set.
So, yeah, I mean, if the NASDAQ doubles in 2 years, dude, shit, dude, Palantir 25 is not going to, Palantir 25 is going to be ridiculous. Robinhood at 13.20, Cleanspark 18.14, Palantir 25.04, guys. We are holding above 25.04. We are holding above 25.04 right now on Palantir. Again, I mean, Gene Munster, he's a really smart guy. He analyzes tech stocks for a living. If he is projecting, I'm not saying his word is everything, but if his firm is kind of saying, hey, this is where we think AI is going, this is where the NASDAQ could go, it sounds kind of like bubbly 1999, 2000, but then if you look at the numbers, it's like, these are real numbers. And these are real. And so as a result of that, that's going to be important. One sec. Okay, cool. So that's 25.07 on Palantir right now. Cleanspark 18.03. Let's look at the Robinhood position. Let's see how the Robinhood position is doing. So the Roth IRA position absolutely sucks. This one has not appreciated the way I wanted it to, and that's just because there's a lot of volatility. So this one's only up 28%. Nothing we can really do about this one right now. Again, to me, I think that we hold, because even if it pulled back, like, look, even if Robinhood goes back to $11, I'm buying more. Okay, if Robinhood goes to $10, it does something stupid, I'm buying more. Nothing determined from that report says it has to be this low. And so if we have a stupid pullback, which right now it's holding 13, which is great, but if we have a stupid pullback, that might end up happening. The main position is up 17,000 right now. We sold 50 of these. We made 65%. That order I had to sell 70 at $1.35 a contract, that did not fill. That one's still not filling out yet. So we're going to have to see. We're going to have to see what ends up playing out here in the context of Robinhood. Right now, we have $15, $20 calls, $1.23. So we recovered about 7 grand out of the initial 30. I wanted to recover 23 more. So if I want to sell, let's say 10 of them at 130, they're saying no. Let's do 130. We did 135. That was a little aggressive. Let's do 130. Let's do 25 at 130. Let's see if we can get at least 130. Maybe 130. It's probably not going to fill, but let's put them in there. Put them in the queue. Just see what happens. All right. Place order. 25, 130. Close. Does that fill? It's definitely not going to fill. But, I have to submit. $20 buy to close, sell to close, 30. Why does it ask me to verify my account right now, dude? That's so weird. But close. Yeah, let's see if it. Oh, it's okay. Let me type in the password. Maybe it closes there. Again, I want to take out my initial, but I don't want to be super eager about it because if this thing keeps running, there's no point. There's just no point to sell this early. It's just stupid, especially when these expire 2026. So let's see. That one did not fill. Okay, so that one's still on the queue. It did not fill. Amit, here is the scary good part about Hood is that there is 2.3 trillion in markets. You can't tell me that some of those people aren't coming to Hood. No, there's 6 trillion in money markets actually. Yeah, some of those people are going to be investing, and that's another thing. Which I'm like, if I could just be patient, even if Robinhood goes back to 11 or 12 bucks, live with the pain because there is no reason that this thing shouldn't hit. P says, thoughts on paying capital tax versus taking out gains. If I sell Meta, I immediately lose tens of thousands from capital gains tax. Thank you for the $5 super chat. Look, to me, everyone worries a lot about tax when it comes to selling. At the end of the day, if the market's giving you liquidity, you got to take liquidity. Taxes are just a part of life, like it is what it is. It sucks. Like I'm gonna have to pay some taxes on this, but whatever, right? Like I have to go work harder, make more money somewhere else, right? So taxes should never be a reason. I feel like you should be very scared to take liquidity. Now, granted, the actual position Meta, I wouldn't be selling Meta right now. Personally, 50-cent dividend, 50 billion in buybacks. I mean, the business is booming. So on a fundamental basis, Meta to me is not a sell right now. Cleanspark 1834. But on a tax reason, I wouldn't care. Okay, Robinhood's below 13. There you go, 12.95. So this is going to be the interesting thing now. Over the course of the next 2 hours, does it get bought up by people who missed their opportunity or think they missed their opportunity on Robinhood? That's what we're going to see. That's what we're going to see when it comes to Robinhood. And that's where we have to kind of see how this plays out, see what happens. Let's see. But yeah, on a fundamental basis, Facebook doesn't make sense to sell. You lose compounding gains for taxes. Yeah, I get it. But like you have to pay taxes. There's nothing you can do, right? That's life. You have to pay the taxes. So I get like, if you really want to optimize your life, move to Puerto Rico, move to Nevada, move to Florida. You will pay a lot less taxes. If you're not moving from your state, but you're so concerned about taxes, it's like, dude, it's part of life. You have to pay taxes. It is what it is. So if you get liquidity, take your liquidity. If you feel uncomfortable holding the position, if there's no reason to sell the position, then yeah, you get to save on taxes and you get greater gains in the future. Hopefully, if the position does well. That's my philosophy on it. And we'll see. Yeah, you live in California. Well, now I know why you're worried so much. Peace says, yeah, dude. I mean, look, if you live in California, you got to pay pay up, bro. You got to pay. This is what you get for the sunshine in Cali. 13% state income tax. Can't help you there. You gotta pay. You gotta pay up. You gotta pay up when it comes to that. Okay. So here we go. What else are we looking at on Robinhood? Robinhood 12.95. It's struggling to hold 13, but we'll see what happens. Oh, Michael is moving to Vegas this week. Wow, that's not bad, dude. Vegas is I had a bad opinion on Vegas when I went there in September. I actually really like Vegas now. I had a good trip in October before September 2022. I had a bad trip. October I had a good trip, and so I don't know. I kind of like Vegas. I wouldn't mind going back there again and just chilling out there and enjoying it. So when are you moving to Vegas? I don't think I could ever move there, dude. I don't want to be surrounded by gambling the whole time. That's just kind of weird. It's just a lot of people just smoking and drinking and gambling all day. Like I need to be in the hustle and bustle of a city like New York, right? Like I need that grind to feel like I'm alive. So I don't think I could have lived there, but I think I could make a trip out there probably 2 or 3 times a year. I wouldn't mind. Bitcoin, 51,825 right now. So we got some Bitcoin there. Palantir Hotline says amid 55 million households have an IRA. 15% of those households contribute yearly. The median yearly contribution is $5K. Quick math, that's $41 billion a year in yearly contribution inflows. Yeah, that's a lot of money coming through IRAs. Robinhood also said that they have $3,500 on average in all their retirement accounts, and they have $7 billion in total in the Roth IRAs. Let me pull up the deck real quick. So their stats, guys, again, it was regardless of what the stock does, I don't really care because their stats were great. There's nothing I'm seeing in the stats that are like, oh my God, we need to be scared, Like, same thing with Palantir, right? The government revenue is the only thing, and that's irrelevant. That will eventually get back to normal. U.S. commercials is all that matters. People forget, they bought back 55 million shares. People were getting mad at them for buying back 55 million shares at $11. I was like, what is wrong with you? They bought back $600 million of their stock. They reduced dilution by about 5%. They have $5.3 billion in cash. That's $600 million. Right now, they're up almost 10, 15% on that. They could have got some money from the money markets, but they're still gap profitable even without that $600 million getting money in the T-bills, and they bought back their stock. They chose to make sure shareholders aren't as diluted. So to me, that was a genius strategy, and it's hopefully going to pay off as the stock appreciates. Coinbase 155 up 10%. Market's cooling off a little bit. We're at the point of the time in the day when the market should cool off. It should take some profits, take some gains. SMCI, I think also. Yeah, SMCI was at 880. Now it's at 867. So in about 2 hours, we're going to see how this market heats back up if it does. But right now it's still green. Wasn't those SPF shares? Yeah. And I think people were saying they should have bought them back at $8. I don't think they were allowed to. I think the DOJ had them under custody and they gave them a certain price they had to buy it back at. Also, they needed to buy back those shares because if the DOJ dumped those shares on the market, that would have been 55 million shares of dilution that would not have been fun for shareholders. So they really did have to buy back that stuff. And so that's what we had when it came to Robinhood buying back their stock. Palantir is still at 24.97. So Palantir is still holding all, guys. Palantir is not, the fact that it's still in this $25 range, I do think that it's really trading with SMCI and NVIDIA now. I know there's a ton of buyers, but I'm sure the algorithms are putting these in a basket. Robinhood back at 1309 up 10%. So if Palantir, keeps going up, it means NVIDIA and SMCI should be going up. NVIDIA and SMCI take a little bit of a breather, then Palantir is probably going to take a little bit of a breather as well. But that's why the 21st, we got to see what happens. Why is AMD so behind? AMD has gone up almost 100% in the past 3 months. It's up 3%. The valuation on AMD actually is kind of insane because they're not putting up growth numbers like NVIDIA. By the way, AMD guided for revenue, profits, data center growth, all of their key metrics to be down in Q1. So it's not like they had a phenomenal earnings. So AMD going up is actually a little bit more hype to me. NVIDIA going up maybe will be hype on February 21st, but maybe they put up the numbers and then, it's not just hype. So we're going to see. We're going to see Cleanspark maintaining momentum, 1836. Cleanspark's not stopping, up 15%. Cleanspark's like, you know what? We're going to keep doing this. Cleanspark options right now are up about 30%, 31%. We're up about 1,500 on those. Again, we're just letting those ride, so we'll let those do what they got to do. Robinhood did not fill yet on any of the orders I placed in, so it's got to break through, 1340, 1350 to even have a chance to fill. But I think I'm okay. We got out about $7,000 out of the initial 30. I want to take out, more, but I don't want to rush it. The thing is, here's the thing. If the market fucking crashes, Robinhood's crashing with it. And I know that. And so really a bet on any stock right now is a bet on the broader markets at all-time highs, not collapsing. And that's the thing that we have to think about. Any exciting earnings today? We have HubSpot and Upwork, which are interesting. So we'll talk about those. How much debt do they have? Are you talking about AMD? Robinhood has zero debt, from my understanding. AMD, I don't know. I have to check. Palantir also obviously has zero debt, but we have to see. I think AMD has some debt, but I might be wrong. I don't think NVIDIA has any debt either. Like a lot of these big tech companies have so much cash flow. They don't really, that's why interest rates don't affect them outside of the general macroeconomic environment. But like interest rates don't mean shit to Google. They don't need to borrow capital. The cost of capital is not, they have a lot of capital. They can do a lot of things. Valero, where did you learn option trading? Honestly, I learned from Chris. I got to give him all the props. Any of the gains I have are quite frankly because he taught me a lot of these strategies. I wouldn't say I'm an expert by any sense of the imagination. Here's the thing about Robinhood, though. People forget. I was up 30 grand on SoFi in July, and I didn't sell. And then obviously SoFi fucking collapsed, and I only ended up making like 1,200. So that is why I told myself in August, I wasn't depressed about it. I was just a little upset. I was like a little annoyed. I was like, dude, you had 30 grand. Why didn't you take the profits? I told myself, all right, next time we do this, we're going to have a thesis that is so strong you can withstand going up and down on the options. But also, next time you do this, there's actually going to be a next time. Meaning, I needed to tell myself, no, this is not a one-time anomaly. I can do this again. I have the skill set, and now the skill set can be applied to anything. That doesn't mean I'm going to win everything, but the skill set can be applied to everything. That was my goal. And with Robinhood hopefully working out, it looks like that skill set might end up being applied to Robinhood if it plays out. But that was the big thing for me on Robinhood. The big thing for me was I just want to know I can do it again. I don't want to be like that guy that, did this on SoFi because, Chris suggested it. I wanted to know I could do it again. So, yeah, I'm on my separate channel, Macro Darts. I'm going to post a link in the chat. I'm going to be doing very basic options for beginners. Again, I'm not an expert. I'm learning in real time like you guys. In a few months, I'm going to learn what the fucking Fibonacci lines are in technical analysis, and I'm going to sound super smart once I learn that. But right now, I can't talk about that. So you're learning with me in real time. And hopefully my communication skills help you understand to the best of my knowledge what I understand, and we can just keep this going. And that's the link in the chat. You can subscribe to that, and we'll have very, very basic option videos out there. We'll see. But the thing is, I learned some advanced strategies from Chris about 8 months ago, and then I saw the opportunity with Robinhood, and then I just bought the hell out of it because I was like, well, I have conviction. I know the strategy. I know the exit strategy. So I'm just going to fucking buy. And there was a day that I literally just put in almost 40 grand. Like just every single 2 minutes, I just kept buying and buying and buying and buying. And finally the position was established. Next thing I know, we're never getting back to the prices I was buying at on that position. It just couldn't go back down to that average. And it still hasn't come back, even though Robinhood fell 30% in January. So, when you have conviction and the time is right, sometimes you got to strike. And that's where they're. Do you have any Bitfarms? Nope, I did, but I sold out of those and made some money. I was talking about Hood. Yeah, I don't think Hood has any debt. I can check, but I don't think Hood has any debt. I'll check. I have to look at the balance sheet, but if they have any debt, it's minimal. It's nothing the street would ever care about. Inspire Rise, thank you for the $10 super chat. Amit, what Jersey Shore do you frequent? LBI guy here. Just want to show some love for all the great content. Keep putting up the good work. Thank you, Inspire Rise. I go to the Jersey Shore sometimes. Like I go to Atlantic City, but I don't really go that often. I didn't grow up near the Jersey Shore. There's like South Jersey and North Jersey, and those are kind of two different countries, quite frankly. But I grew up around Newark and Union and Elizabeth and Kearney. And so I didn't go to this shore that I really don't like the beach. Like I never really enjoyed going to the beach. It was never like a relaxing thing for me. I just get like relaxing is being at my house on my laptop. Like that's super relaxing to me, So when people are like, oh, I want to go to Cabo, I want to go vacation. I'm like, dude, I just want to be at home on my laptop. I don't fucking care about Mexico. I don't give a shit about Mexico. Now, if you take me to Europe or you take me to like see Big Ben or, the Coliseum, that I'll get excited for. But I'm not excited to sit on a beach with shitty Wi-Fi. Like I'd rather just shit at home. I'd rather sit at home and I'd rather shit at home. That would be, both of those would be okay. Should you exercise or sell your contracts for your leap? 70% of people sell the contracts back to the market. These contracts move hands. They exchange hands like thousands and thousands of times. Exercising means you're really bullish on the company and you really want to own the shares. That's not how I play options. I just sell the contracts. So yeah, for me, I don't exercise the contracts, but I know a lot of people tend to do that as well. Okay, where's Palantir? Robinhood $12.99, Palantir $24.84. Cleanspark and Robinhood are holding 10 and 15% gains respectively, which is amazing. PayPal is holding its losses, of course. And then Palantir is holding 3.4%. Again, 25, there's a lot of sellers, which is why it's really hard to clear 25. But the fact that we cracked it is very, very exciting. NVIDIA 735, QQQ 430, DraftKings 43, Bitcoin still 51,700. It's not stopping. Bitcoin is just not stopping. I mean, I know it's down from 52,000, but I woke up and I did not expect to see Bitcoin at 51.3. And I woke up and I saw that and I was like, holy crap, dude. Like I fell asleep last night when it was touching 50. I did not know it would, make another $1,700 while I was sleeping. It's absolutely incredible. P. Shash, thank you for the super chat. I was born in Livingston and lived in Chatham until I was 10. Have you gone to Chan Palace before? I've not gone to Chan Palace, but I've been to Livingston. Livingston Mall. I've been there many times, but yeah, not gone to that place. It's just Sham who's selling. Look, I'm not gonna lie. Maybe we got some insiders offloading at 25, dude. Last time they offloaded almost 2 million shares at 25, so it might be Sham. I don't think we got any reports yesterday from the IR, so we're probably. I mean, they didn't sell yesterday, but today we'll see. Yesterday was a red day as well, though. When you bought originally, did you buy in the money? No, I bought out of the money on the Robinhood contracts. Again, they're $15, $20 strikes, so they're not in the money. And that means they're going to get more gains if they get to that level, right? When you buy in the money, that's what Nancy Pelosi bought Nvidia call options in the money at like $300 strike. Nvidia was already 500, so it exacerbates the gains a little bit, but it's similar to buying the stock. It's just a little bit cheaper than buying the stock. But if you buy out of the money and you actually hit your targets, much less go beyond those targets, you make a lot of money, right? And that's what I think has happened to people who are holding $15 leaps for Palantir at $25. Imagine at $7 you bought the $10 leaps in 2025 for Palantir. It's at $24. You're up probably hundreds of percents, right? Because the stock ended up playing out. Bitcoin man, thank you for the $2 super chat. You say, are you ready for 250K Bitcoin this year? Dude, if that happens, Robinhood's not going to be $13. I'll say that. It's like, I think, Jesse was talking about on the channel yesterday, we have to have a lot of liquidity globally to get Bitcoin to those levels. And his macro thesis thinks that that's going to happen. And so if it does, we'll see. And if it doesn't, then, then maybe we end up at just all-time highs, or like 60,000, 69,000, even if we don't get that high. Oh, very interesting to see if Kathy Wood is buying. So she bought 41,000 shares yesterday. I don't know if she sold. Well, she didn't sell yesterday. I don't know if she's selling today. I doubt. So Kathy Wood is not someone that sells as soon as you have a good earnings report. She actually buys into that. That's what she did with Palantir. This earnings report, again, on Robinhood was incredible. I cannot stress that enough. It was a good report. If we go back to $8, $9, it is the fucking opportunity of a lifetime. It is not like the floor to the stock to me is like 15, even though I know it's at 13, but that is where I'm thinking of fair value. Guys, if they keep up the rate of deposit growth, they're going to put in $12 billion of deposits in Q1 alone. So to me, I think there's a new floor, and I think she's buying into this. She was buying, God knows, she bought, I think, a couple million shares at the $9 to $10 range over the past 6 months. So, and now she bought at the IPO, so she's definitely decreased her average, but she should be doing very well. Unless she needs to sell to buy something else, I don't think she's selling today, because this thing does not look like it's slowing down, dude. It just doesn't look like that. So that's what we're seeing right now on Kathy. So funded customers, 420,000 year over year. Look at their product roadmap. They're going to do a credit card soon for gold members. They might increase the gold. Even one of the analysts was like, guys, you're charging $5 a month for gold. That's stupid. Like, that's basically what the analyst said. And Vlad was like, yeah, but it's part of our mission, to make it super cheap to access the features that these, high-level brokerages charge thousands of dollars a year to access. And so if they just increase that $5 gold to $10, even if they have like 2% churn, which who's fucking churning, dude? If you have Robinhood Gold and you're an investor, are you really churning if they go from 5 to 10 or 5 to 7? Like, no, you get so many benefits. And if you have a small 6-figure portfolio, or at least high 5-figure, you're not going to stress over $5. Like, that's ridiculous. It's kind of like Spotify, right? If you have all your playlists for the past 10 years on Spotify, if they increase it by $10, you're not going to Amazon Music or Apple Music. Like, you're not letting all those memories go away. Now, I know you can transport your playlist, but the point is, you just want to be in an integrated place. So I think that's going to also be phenomenal for them as well. What else do we have in this deck? Funded customers, 23.4 million, 4.6 billion deposits. Gold subscriptions, they had 90,000 last quarter. By the way, here's another stat. They added 60,000 gold subscriptions last month, which is 3x their normal, and already 60% of the 90,000 they added in the past 3 months. I don't know if this thing is stopping, dude. The stock can fall, but I don't know if the company is necessarily stopping here when it comes to the performance. 1293 right now in Robinhood. So market's taking a little bit of a break. Tesla 184, Celsius 62, Nvidia 730, SMH 201, Palantir 2478 starting to sell off now, but still up 3% on the day. WS says, Amit, I'm out of Palantir, got laid off, so I need the funds. Average cost $925. Look, WS, congratulations. You made more than 100%. Everyone needs funds at different points of their life, so I would not feel bad about this at all. The price is pretty elevated, to say the least, on Palantir, given how we've had a run. And this thing could go back down to 19. This thing could go back down to 30. So congrats to you. To me, it's very simple. Taking money in the markets as profits means that money's real and it's not just a game. And so I congratulate anyone that takes any profits, especially if you're up 100%, man. That's incredible. Jeff Mueller, 9,600 shares at 1050. Okay, so let's calculate your shit, Jeff. 9,600 at 1050 means you paid $100,000 for these shares. Currently, your shares are worth, let's multiply by 2480, 238,000. So you're up 138 grand, dude. That's crazy. It's fucking insane. Sometimes I think you got to do the numbers just to realize the magnitude of it. And again, most people in the world don't invest. They don't invest. They don't compound their capital, dude. Like my dad just learned about money or investing because I started showing him some of my profits. And this man went 60 years without investing. It's one of those things. Like my kids are going to be born out the womb with a fucking whatever you call that account for kids. I don't know what it's called, but it's some fancy account where you can deposit like $1,000 a year or whatever and let it compound. And when the kid's 2 years old, he's going to be learning about PE ratios. It's just that simple. We're not going to be playing with Legos. We're going to be stacking up different types of bricks, right? We're going to really understand, the markets. So I'm not going to make the mistake my parents made with me when it comes to financial literacy. And my parents were immigrants, right? They had no idea what the fucking stock market was. They barely knew what America was. So to them, the fact that I'm even here is a success to them. Now I got to make sure my kid pulls a 10 bagger by the time he's fucking 10 years old, right? We're gonna get this going. So it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun. He's gonna do or she is gonna do debate, stocks, and music, piano specifically, by the time they're around 5-7 years old. Those are the three things they're going to be doing. And if they can get one of those right, because music, if you know how to play music, like I never learned how to play music, I think your IQ just goes up. If you know how to do the stock market, you can make some fucking money. And then if you can debate, you can become a content creator. So imagine he becomes a musician who has a YouTube channel that knows how to trade stocks, or she. That'd be pretty cool. That'd be pretty cool. So, that's what we're going to do with my kids. Chris Kingdom says, I started investing at 45 because you've been told all your life the stock market is bad. Yeah. And look, the people that say the stock market is bad, I don't think they have ill intentions per se. I just think they're afraid of risk. And the hard truth about like being a human is that if you don't take any fucking risk, you're not getting anywhere in life. That comes to job, that comes to starting a business, that comes to starting a YouTube channel, that comes to making a joke on the live stream, thinking people will laugh. And then what do you know? 947 people end up laughing because you're just that funny because you took the risk to say that joke. So to me, life is all about taking risks, and the upside outweighs the downside. I mean, look, dude, I took a risk once when I asked this girl out in college. When did I ask her out? I don't know if I told you guys the story, but we talked at some party till like 6 a.m. It was like from 2 a.m. to 6 a.m. We were just talking. Just sitting there talking. And then I went back to my apartment, and the next day she sends me this paragraph as I wake up right before class, this long ass paragraph. I'm like, damn, she really enjoyed that conversation. And the paragraph was just like, I really enjoyed talking to you, yada, 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 yada. I'm like, no, you want something else. You don't wake up at 10 a.m. after we talk for 4 hours and then send me a paragraph. You want something else. You don't want to just say it was a nice conversation. Like what girl like that was a nice conversation? It's like, no, like obviously you felt something more. So I wait for a week. And then I send her a text message and I write on a piece of paper. I made this like funny piece of paper of just like, come over to my place Sunday night. Great Gatsby was her favorite movie. I was like, we'll watch Great Gatsby. We'll have some pizza. And then we'll have a little bit of Mary Jane play with us as well, right? So I put this on this chart and then I sent it to her. This was in 2020, right? And she didn't respond for 10 hours, dude. I was like, fuck, dude. She really just thought it was a good conversation. That's all she thought it was. I was like, damn, I thought this was going to work. I thought we were going to get this date. Like I thought it was going to work. And also in my text, I said, make sure you respond in an interesting way. Cause I was like, if I'm sending this text to ask you out in an interesting way, Palantir at 2477, you've got to respond in an interesting way. So I tried to gamify the process of asking her out in a Gen Z way. Right. And then she responds with this picture of like, how third graders send this like notes to each other of like, hey, do you like me? Do you like me not? Do you like me? And then check mark yes or no. She sent me a picture with her check marking the yes box on the do you like me? And I was just like, let's fucking go. This worked. And then we went on a date and it was awesome. Right. And so that was a big risk is what I'm trying to say. And I didn't have to take that risk. But after a week, I was just like, the whole week I couldn't go without thinking about it. I was like, you know what? Like, I need to ask her out. What's the worst that's going to happen? She's going to say no. Like, what if she says yes? And then she said yes. And it was awesome. And it was great. Right. It was super cool. And same thing with Robinhood. Once I had conviction on this bad boy, I was like, well, my conviction's here. Now I can invest 10,000 or 50,000. It's like, if the conviction's there. And so I know we have to do risk mitigation. All that. So I was like, fuck it, we're doing 50 grand. And we put in 50 grand. And, so far it ended up playing out. But you got to take a risk in life. And it's very, very difficult to take risks. And the far majority of people just don't take risks. They just don't take risks. And so, no, this is not Kelly, guys. This is in 2020. Kelly is now my girlfriend in 2023. This was a girl back in 2020 that, it was a fun time we had. We spent about a month together. It was a fun little fling. I wouldn't even call it a relationship. But the point is, it was an interesting way to ask someone out and take a risk. And at the end of the day, you got to take a risk. You got to take a risk if you want this thing to happen. And also, I mean, think about it, it's calculated risk. I know she liked Great Gatsby. Okay. I know she liked Mary Jane. You guys know what I'm talking about when it comes to Mary Jane. And I also know that she liked pizza. I think she told me during those 4 hours she liked pizza. So I was like, if we put all three of these together and you like me, I mean, you stayed up with me for 6 hours to talk, then you should probably say yes. The stock should go up, right? If Robinhood gets all these deposits and gold subscribers and their gap profit, the stock should go up. You should say yes to me asking you out. And she ended up saying yes. But like even having the courage to do that, it's tough for a lot of people, dude. It's tough. But you got to do it. And look, sometimes I failed when I ask girls out, but sometimes it works, and it is what it is. And I'll fail on certain stocks, fucking PayPal. So what more do I have to say? But you got to be able to take the risk. ARC-B is up 4%. Celsius is up 4%. IBIT is up 4.8%. SMCI up 8.46%. ARM is up 4%. Where's NVIDIA? Is NVIDIA taking a little bit of a breather? NVIDIA's trying to stay above 728. It might end up turning red here, but we'll see. We'll see where it goes. Bro is in counselor mode on Valentine's Day. Yeah, it is also Valentine's Day, so that's a good story, right? If you don't have any guts, no quality gal will date you. Yeah, that's true, dude. Women are becoming a lot more picky, let's just say, in the world. If you don't have confidence, dude, if you can't really like make her feel like you got your shit together, you know what you're doing, then it's going to be hard to get a girl. So I think you just have to have confidence. Your personality has to be there. And same thing in the market, dude. When you see an opportunity, you got to take some fucking risks. You just got to. Now, does that mean FOMO into Palantir 25? No, that's a stupid risk, because you also have to have the fundamentals of like investing on the peripheral vision, right? You have to understand that as well. But Palantir at $8, $9, $10, that's a very calculated risk, even though it's still a risk. Same thing with that girl. Like it's a calculated risk. I thought she could say no, but the odds were she would say yes. Odds were Palantir at $9 was stupid. And we talked about that for almost 2 years when we were stuck at that price. Now odds are buying at 25 is also stupid, because the odds are objectively this thing is going to head back down. But as long as the AI narrative keeps up, maybe it keeps going as well. Dude, is Kelly your girlfriend? Yes, Kelly is my girlfriend. Makes me think about the dance scene in Back to the Future. Okay, guys, I never watched Back to the Future. I need to watch. So I don't know what the dance scene is. I know the Marty McFlys are like Nikes, but I never watched Back. I never watched Godfather. I gotta watch all this shit one day. Robinhood 1290 right now, up 8.95%. Cleanspark up 15%, 1828. MicroStrategy 745. So Robinhood's taking a bit of a dip. It's going to take a couple hours. We'll see if that can get back to 13. Let's look at the call options on Robinhood. They're still doing well. They haven't filled, but they haven't collapsed either. Retirement account is definitely not exciting. Yeah, it's if we were going to sell it, we were going to sell it early in the morning, dude. Look at the retirement. I wanted to double on this one. And this is barely up. So we're going to need Robinhood to crack some momentum for this thing to go higher. The thing is, I don't want to sell it because my average is 52 cents. Like, I don't know if I'm getting a 52-cent average on this thing again. I'd rather wait, right? 52 cents is at 65 cents. We're up, what, 23? The call contract would have to decline by 23%. To get back to 52 cents, let me give you a look. If we simulate the returns, you guys can see this, right? Yeah, to get back to 52 cents, we would have to go back to what, $10? No, $10 was this is at 22, $11, $12. Yeah, so about $12 we would have to go through, which means we'd have to fall about 15% for those call options to go negative. I don't know. Do we fall 15% from 1286? I don't know. It could happen. Maybe it does, but I don't know. I think we got to be patient here. You can't sell because he follows you on Twitter. Yeah, that's true, dude. We can't tell Vlad that we sold. Vlad would be upset. Yo, Palantir Hotline. I know you have Robinhood. Are you selling anything today? Are you taking any profits? Let me know. I know you have Robinhood as well. Odds are you make 40% this year if you buy Palantir at 25. Not so stupid. So what? That means you think what? Palantir is going to 30 from there? 0.4 times 25. No, you think Palantir is going to 35. Again, you guys just got to remember 35 would be a $70 billion market cap. I really just think you have to be careful here. I know these price targets sound like $35 is not that crazy. And this is where I give myself some credit as a more objective Palantir content creator. Like, you really do have to be conservative here. 70 billion for a company that's going to maybe do 500 million in profits. It's just a lot, guys. It's a lot. Like, AI hype is one thing, but that is a lot. So I would be careful, dude. I would just be careful. And if that's my thing about it. I don't think it's bad to buy a 24, but I think to expect to make 40% on top of making 50% already, it's not the easiest thing to do. So we'll see. We'll see how it plays out. Any thoughts on Intel, Marvel, Credo, semi stocks? I think the semis are great, but that's because NVIDIA is propping them up. February 21st lets us know if the semis have any more room or not. February 21st. That's it. Either the semis have room or they don't. February 21st. So to me, it is binary. That day will determine everything. Like, where's Intel? Is Intel back at $50? I would imagine Intel has ran, right? Intel has had to have run. Intel's at 43. Okay, so Intel still hasn't recovered. So Intel's numbers sucked. AMD's numbers sucked. SMCI numbers were great. NVIDIA numbers might be great, which is why they have outstanding gains. But the entire semi market is up because of NVIDIA and SMCI. So NVIDIA is going to matter. NVIDIA is going to think the most. Palantir Hotline says, a hood is 2.3% of my portfolio. I'm holding for now. I do have an active covered call position right now expiring end of week. What is the strike on the covered call? Is it what, $20 on that covered call or 15? Intel's up 60% year to date. No, not year to date. Is it year to date? Intel's up over the 1 year 60%, not year to date. There's no way it's year to date up that much. Intel is up. Intel's up 10. It's down 10% year to date. Yeah, over the past year, it's up 55%. I was like, year to date, dude. If Intel's up 60% year to date, what the hell is going on? $13 plan to roll forward if it burns further. Okay, so $13. Yeah, I don't know, dude. Maybe you're safe on that 13 because $12.93, but maybe you're not. I think $13.50, if we can just hold above that this week, we're going to make new highs, but it's going to be tough to get there. It's not going to be the easiest. And the reason I say that is because there's people taking the profits, dude. People want to fucking take profits. At this point, people want to take profits. All right, let's look back at these calls and see what they're at right now. See what they're doing. PayPal calls are down 4% today, of course. Why not? Why wouldn't PayPal calls be down? Why wouldn't? PayPal is PayPal. I think we try to sell another 20 guys at a little bit lower of a strike just to start clearing up a little bit more cash. What would this be? At 120 they would fill? Medium they would fill. They'd fucking fill at 120. If we do this, I want to recover 30,000. That's the initial. If we do this, we would have 9,300 out of the 30,000. We would have recovered 31% of the initial. They would probably fill at 120. If we do 125, they're not going to fill. I think we wait. I think we still fucking wait. It'll run again today. Yeah, I think we fucking wait, dude. I think we wait. Bitcoin's not falling either. So that's another reason why I'm like, well, if Bitcoin's continuing to maintain momentum, yeah, Bitcoin's at 51.5. If Bitcoin creates a new floor, Robinhood should create a new floor as well. I mean, that theoretically that we should see that happening. How many active users are on Hood? 23.4 million accounts. But let me show you this. What do you call it? This picture. Their MAUs increased by like 30% yesterday, which is quarter over quarter, which is really good. That means people are coming back to the platform. People are coming back. So look at this. They have 10.9 million MAUs. That's up from 10.3 million last quarter. Now it's down from Q4 2022. That's okay. People are coming back. We're going to probably eclipse that, I would imagine, in 2 quarters. But look at that. 600,000 people came back last quarter. That's crypto. That's transaction revenues, equities going higher. That's Roth IRAs. That's a lot of people saying, you know what, we want to come back to Robinhood. And if this bull market lasts for a couple of years, then that number is not going to get worse. That shit's just going to keep going higher and higher and higher. So we're going to see more momentum there. We're going to see a lot more momentum there. 51.5. Palantir is selling off a little bit, 24.67 now. So Palantir is taking a breather as well. Makes sense. But we got back to 25 today, guys. We actually got back to 25. Would you recommend buying into SMH? No. SMH, for those that don't know, is the semis ETF. It's up 20% year to date, which is insane for an ETF, let alone a stock. Here's my thing. I'm going to sound stupid if I say no and NVIDIA crushes it. I'm going to sound smart if NVIDIA tanks and I say don't buy. So it is not really based on my recommendation. It's just look at the ETF itself. It's up 20% year to date. I mean, if NVIDIA crushes, it's going to go up more. If NVIDIA, so to me, this is a question about NVIDIA. NVIDIA is now red on the day. And my personal opinion is that I don't know if NVIDIA can keep this up. And maybe I'm wrong, but maybe I don't know if NVIDIA can keep this up. Z-Zone says you can get filled at 130. I don't think you can get filled at 130. I'll try. I'll put 20 at 130 and see if it fills right now. Let's see. Review order, close. I don't think it's going to fill. Yeah, I just put it. I don't think it's going to fill. 130 would be a lot, dude. I don't know if it's going to fill. I just put it up though. We'll see. So for it all depends on NVIDIA. That's it. NVIDIA's the granddaddy here. NVIDIA crushes, we crush. NVIDIA tanks, we tank. So that's it. That's it. It's all dependent on Mr. Jensen Huang. Oh, let's hear Dan Niles. Let's hear what he has. Let's hear him. His thoughts. He was short Apple, long Meta. I think that worked for him. Let's hear his thoughts. I think he's also short Tesla. So let's hear.
Tory Fund founder and portfolio manager joins us now. So Dan, let me get it straight. You're long 4 of the Mag 7 and short the other 3. What's the strategy?
Right. Well, I think if you look at the last couple of years, earnings haven't really mattered. You go back 2 years ago, 2022, they all went down pretty hard. The Magnificent Seven were down 46% in 2022. You look at 2023, earnings didn't matter again there, where as a group, they were up 111%, despite the fact that Tesla's earnings for the December quarter came down about 50% over the course of the year. The stock doubled. You look at Apple, similar situation where earnings for the fourth quarter came down about 10% over the course of last year, and the stock was up 46% or so. So that it didn't make much of a difference. You look at this earnings season so far, and the earnings have actually started to matter. Apple's numbers came down on the top line for the 5th quarter in a row, and the stock actually went down. Tesla, similar situation where that's down over 20%. Google, it's more mixed in the sense that their most important businesses, search, YouTube, owned and operated, all 3 of them missed in advertising. And you put that in sharp contrast to a Meta where they crushed their advertising numbers. And so that's why you combine that with, Amazon did great, beat operating profits by 20%. You talked about NVIDIA. Everybody knows the numbers are going up a lot there. And Microsoft did well in Azure. And so that's why we have the fantastic 4 on the long side, and we're short the other 3.
I mean, the 4 that you're long are very consensus, and they've done very well. You had a great call on Meta last year, ran up more than 100%. So now it's up another 32% year to date. NVIDIA's up another 49%. Does it make you nervous that we're sitting on top of these gains in trades that everybody likes?
Not really, because you have to look at valuation, which is something that, very few people want to talk about. They just want to say, oh, I love this because of, big subscriber numbers or whatever. But if you look at a Meta, you're right. The stock tripled last year almost, and it's up again strongly, but it's being driven by earnings. Unlike an Apple or Tesla, Meta's December quarter EPS over the course of last year went up about 90%. So there's a reason the stock tripled, almost tripled. And if you look at this year, it's still trading at a 24 PE. You compare that to the S&P at 21 times, you're not paying much for it. You look at an NVIDIA, the revenues this year are expected to grow by 70%. I think it's going to be a big beat and a raise yet again, but you're paying 38 times for it. So it's really hard to say you're in an overvaluation for some of these names. And with Amazon, I think you're going to see the GAAP EPS double from 2023 to 2025. So again, driven by earnings. And then Microsoft, obviously, with Copilot and their investment in OpenAI, which produces ChatGPT, seeing a lot of benefits from that. So
he's long Meta, Amazon, Microsoft, and but he's short Tesla and Apple. So that makes, so short Tesla, Apple, long Meta, Microsoft, Amazon. That's not crazy. That's not a horrible way. But look, Tesla can rebound phenomenally well, dude, if they end up increasing some of their margins or they were sandbagging on the guidance. Right now, it's not being valued as an auto company because it's a lot more than a traditional auto company, but it's definitely not getting the AI premium, the robotics premium, all that crazy stuff. So I don't know, dude. I don't know if 184 is going to be that bad in 2 years. Maybe in 2 months, it's a little iffy as we had a correction and we maybe head back down to 170-ish. But I don't know long-term if Tesla is the short you want to keep up. Where's Robinhood? Robinhood's at what, 1280? So Robinhood's struggling at that 1280 range. Let's see. Everything's falling a little bit. Coinbase is down 9%. Market's taking a breather. So we'll see. Bitcoin's falling as well, 51.3. People are taking their profits. All right, so we'll see how it plays out. Palantir at 24.85, still holding strong, up 3.48% of the day. Robinhood 12.78. Cleanspark 17.68, so Cleanspark just fell. MicroStrategy, all the Bitcoin stocks just fell. They're still up on the day by a lot, but they fell. Uber is up 11%. ARM is up 1.94. SMCI 7%. And then NVIDIA is still green. It's just green by about 0.42%. Oh, he's long NVIDIA too again. Yeah, he's long NVIDIA. And that makes sense. So short Apple, Tesla, long NVIDIA, Microsoft, Meta, Amazon. All right. We'll see what ends up happening. Robinhood 12.85, Palantir 24.88. I'm losing my voice now. 88 on the day. All right. I'm going to end it there. Thank you, everybody, for joining. This was super fun. Carp just put out a new interview. Shout out to Arnie. He just posted it on his Twitter. So if you guys want to check it out, you can check it out there. If you want to wait until tonight, 8 p.m. to 9 p.m., I'll watch the interview with you guys. So 8 p.m. to 9 p.m., I will watch the interview with you guys. If you want to see it, it's on Arnie's Twitter. My Twitter in the description. Please make sure to follow. And then 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. on Deep Dives for Palantir. We'll watch. This is a 20-minute interview. So we'll spend an hour watching it. He was at some Dubai summit. I think he's at that World Government Summit that, what's his name? Jensen Huang was at. So we'll watch that together. And if you want to check out Arnie, I'll put his Twitter in the description. You can watch it right now on his Twitter. All right, that's it. Let's see what happens. Thank you, everybody, for being here. I'll be back for market close in a couple hours at 3:45. Happy Valentine's Day to everyone. And then 8 p.m. we'll be back for Palantir Deep Dives, and we'll watch this whole Carp interview. And Palantir Daily episode will be out probably around 2 p.m., 3 p.m. All right, that's it. Thank you, everybody, for joining. I appreciate it. Hope everyone had a great day, and we'll see you guys. Oh, word of the day. Shit, we got to do that. Word of the day. We got to do that. Word of the day. Okay, this is weird, but word of the day is bed rotting. I don't know why this is the word of the day, but bed rotting. The practice of spending many hours in bed during the day, often with snacks or an electronic device, is a voluntary retreat from activity or stress. Let me tell you, folks, after I saw those earnings from Robinhood last night, my ass got out of bed and we were not doing some bed rotting. We were going to go see if our due diligence paid off on this company, and hopefully it ends up paying off later. And shout out to anyone who invests and who does due diligence, because seems like so far some of these investments and that due diligence is paying off. Thank you, everybody. Have a great day. I'll see you at 3:45 for the market close. Bye, everyone. Have a good one.